Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Just Ask Char Advice channel. It's a TGIF affair around here, so stick and stay. Don't you dare go away. The show will start momentarily. Before the show begins, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about the happenings going on with the Gray Regime family. Starting on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, it is the Commander, Cerulean Gray, with correction and instruction. All your social, economic, and political ideologies you can find right here with the Commander of the Gray Regime, Cerulean Gray, Mondays on the Gray Regime YouTube channel. And moving on to Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, you can check out The Warrior, and I'm talking about Just DeAndre, each and every Tuesday, 6:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, right here on the Just DeAndre channel. It is called The 1/3 Show. My man brings you an eclectic blend of news and articles from around the world and back again, folks, right here on this same YouTube channel, each and every Tuesday, 6:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Just DeAndre, another one of those great warriors from the Gray Regime. Moving on to Wednesday, we got to leave the YouTube streets on Wednesday and head on over to Classic R&B Jams Radio. Starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can check out On the Beat and Keep the Beat. At 8 p.m., it is DJ Music and Char Willie with On the Beat, hitting you with some news and hot topics from around the world. Starting at 9:30, Char Willie takes off her talk show hat and slides into the DJ booth with Classic Ruby, where they play a blend of great music from the decades and have some great conversation about each and every song. And don't forget, folks, it's an interactive chat room down over there at Classic R&B Jams as well, so you can come twerk in the chat room, post a few gifs or a few memes, whatever you like doing. Just make sure you check it out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over there on Classic R&B Jams Radio. On the Beat and Keep the Beat. Soulful sounds all around town, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you're inclined to, please feel free to leave your financial contributions as well. And for those of you who would like your letter read on the Just Ask Char channel, please send all your emails to justaskchar@gmail.com. That's justaskchar@gmail.com. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is the star of the show, Char Willie.
All right. What is happening? What's going on? TGIF. Whew. What happened to November? Have anyone seen it? Because I really don't think I was there. The calendar says I was for the last 3 weeks of November, which we got one more week just about. The holiday next week. I'm like, wow. And then the weather in Chicago, we've had a few days that were really nice. Incredible. When I had went out for a minute yesterday to run to the store, I'm like, wow, I just can't believe it, feeling like spring out here. It was just that beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, I hope you guys had a beautiful week. It's the weekend, baby. Are you ready to begin? All right, I'm ready to begin. Let's see. I think I got a little news for you, just a little bit of something. Because I normally been busy and I'm like, I don't know what's been happening as much as I should. But I got a little something for you just to give you a little update. Now, I did share with you last week that I was charged on my credit card for my free item, and that I marked down on my calendar to check for the credit on Wednesday, I think it was. And when I looked, it was there. I was so happy. I'm like, yay, I don't have to keep calling. This is wonderful. I should have never been charged for that free item. But, I learned a trick that you can always go to Twitter. So I didn't have to do that, didn't have to put the company on blast or anything like that. So it was a wonderful thing. That's my update on that. And I wanted to also remind you all, if you have not, whether it was pride or you just didn't know, you were under a rock or something, I don't know, but the tax relief and economic impact, I'm in the dark. Why do I don't have the light on? I can still see the word impact. Impact payment, that $1,200 that they gave. Please, 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 if you have not received it, if you have not filed for it, because you have had to have had taxes on record on file for 2019, and they'll automatically send it to you. But if not, you still can go to the website at irs.gov and go claim the $1,200, okay? Tomorrow, not the day after, tomorrow, 3 p.m. is the deadline, November 21st. So please, if you have not claimed that $1,200, go to irs.gov. I don't even think you have to put the www there. They want you to get there. Go and claim your $1,200, okay? Please. And I say that because there are a lot of people that are prideful. I don't know why, broke and pride, I don't see how they kind of work together. But there are some people that are prideful. They're like, I don't want that, and whatever else. I stand on my own, and whatever other rhetoric people say. But if you have not claimed it, I just encourage you to do so. Because you pay taxes, you live in this country. There's nothing else you can do to not pay taxes. I don't care what you do. You cannot withdraw from paying taxes. You can try. You can try the little paperwork and find yourself with some 3-letter word knocking at your door to come, get you. FBI, CIA, somebody, IRS, they come to get you. So since you pay into it, claim your money, good people. All right. That is all I have to say. Peace, DJ Music, if I didn't type your name, which I don't remember type your name. Peace. I'd like to greet everybody. All right. And without further ado, let's introduce everyone. The classic Ruby, everybody.
Oh, my adoring fans, I missed you too. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hello. Good evening. Good evening, Char. How are you doing this lovely TGIF?
I'm doing pretty good. I had the I don't know why, but I had this thought. I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tease Ruby. I had such a good time last week. I just had to tease you. So this is what I want to tell you.
Okay.
I'll be your fair weather friend. I'll be there to the end.
Oh man, that is the greatest thing ever. It's like, wait, what? And the worst part is I'm like, I heard it too. That's what I hear. I'll be your fair weather friend. And I thought they were just being ironic with it, like CeeLo and the Forget You song, right? No, I'll be there till the end. What? So, I'm so confused. Oh man, for those of y'all who don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about our radio show every Wednesday night on CRBJ. Okay, our segment Keep the Beat starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. It follows On the Beat with Shar DJ Music. I know Shar always plays a commercial, so y'all will see it, but I just have to let y'all know, if you have been missing out, okay, you gotta check this out, okay? It is always epic. Always epic. Oh man.
Yeah, I had a great time. So I had to tell you that.
So I tell you, Shar, for about 3 or 4 days, literally, me and Mr. Ruby look at each other and just go, "Hey, Shar, can you get me a cup?" Oh, man. Oh, that will just be my favorite moment forever.
I'm glad. I'm glad. If you're happy, I'm happy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, yes, likewise.
Well, tonight we have a letter, and it's about cheating, but more of the question is about suspicion
Mhm.
and lying. So I think this conversation will be interesting. Hopefully, we'll get some participation happening, and I'll go ahead and share the screen and play the video. Video.
All right. Let's get on it. Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm pumped now. All right.
All right. Let's see here. Boop. Uh, you know what I didn't do?
Uh
Share audio.
oh. Shar, how could you? We've been doing so well.
It's just that extra button.
Right? Just that step. You know what? Hey, listen, your streak can't go on forever. It's okay. You got it out of the way today, so that way tomorrow will go off without a hitch. All right.
You're right. You're right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here goes. Today I have a letter from a guy that's suspicious of his girlfriend cheating on him. And he writes, Dear Shar, I'm suspicious. I think my girlfriend is cheating on me. One day not long ago, I called her in the evening and she didn't answer the phone. And when she called me back the next day, I got this long story about where she had been and why she couldn't call me right back. This wasn't the first time that this has happened, and I don't want to be in the dark. Since you are a woman, can you tell me if there are any tips on how to tell if she's lying? Thank you so much for your letter.
That was fast. Okay. I was hoping for a little more detail, but okay.
Yeah, sometimes, the men just get in and get out. They're like, hey, I think this, I'm done. What you think?
Right? Yeah. Bottom line it for me. Right? Okay. So, because we don't even have details like how long have they been together before this behavior started. You know, does she lie about anything else? Like, we don't really know. Have they exchanged I love yous? Like, we don't really know that
Yeah,
much. So, I mean, hey, that leads to a lot of speculation, lots of room for us to talk about this subject. That's for sure.
true that, true that.
Hmm. Well, okay. So, give us your take first, Shar. I want to hear what you got to say.
All right. He said that she gave this long excuse and all of this. And what I thought of is this term that I use called offering up a lie.
Mm.
And it's something, that's really my pet peeve is lying. I just can't stand it. And if you go into this long story about why you didn't do this or why you did it, normally there's some lies mixed in there instead of just getting to the point. Now, I'm just a getting to the point type of woman. However, I just find in my personal life, my experience, that normally when people give you all those extras and bells and whistles, they're mixing stuff up um, because of some lies in there. Sometimes, just sometimes, it's just embarrassment and they just don't want to come out and say it, but only because he's suspicious about the cheating part. I'm like, okay, if she offering up some lies, then something is suspicious. I'm going on.
Mm.
So I gave him my take on the experience I've had with people just giving you extra stuff,
Mhm.
extra details that's not necessary. And I think I gave him an example of if I say, let's say you call me. No, wait a minute. No, I actually gave him an example that actually had happened one time. One time, my guy had called and I got to, I called him back. I don't know how much time it was. Let's say maybe an hour or two. I don't know. That's a little bit unusual for me. So, whatever.
Mhm.
So, when I called him back, he asked me um, why I'm just not calling him back. So, I had just, briefly said, well, I was in the kitchen. I had ran to the store and I got some stuff I wanted. And I just went on and just started cooking. So, I didn't get back to my phone out my purse until I, sat down for the evening to eat.
Mhm.
Real simple,
Mhm.
you know. But if
Yeah.
I would have said this, well, it was a sale at the store, and I didn't want to miss it because I don't want to pay more. And then I went up the street, and then I came back, and then I came home, and then I had fried the chicken, but I had ran out of oil,
Mhm.
so I went back to the store. And, so if you do all that kind of stuff, just the extra, and that's not what a person normally, says,
Mhm.
then there's some lying going on. There's some suspicion. You should be suspicious about something.
Yes.
Now, of course, if it's not near your birthday or anniversary or something, because sometimes people want to plan something for you,
Mhm.
so they're a little bit nervous. So it's going to be a little weird what the answers are. And that's
Right.
fine. That's cool.
Mhm.
But if they offering up lies, if you know this person and they don't talk to you like that and they just giving you all this extra, then
Mhm.
I say, okay, keep your eye on that person.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I mean, that's something that they tell you about, say, police interrogations as well, right? So people
Mm-hmm.
who offer up way too many details, that's not a good thing. You would think, oh, they're trying to be extra helpful. But there's such a thing as giving too much detail. There's such a thing as wanting to make your story way too intricate and whatever, giving people so many things to focus on and ask questions about. It's almost like, what is the thing you're dancing around in the middle that you really don't want us to notice or to
Uh-huh.
have questions lead to? So you're giving me all kinds of other things I could focus on. So I don't focus on the real 45 minutes that you didn't tell me about. What were you doing then? Right? So, and I mean, to be fair, right? I mean, yeah, it sounds like lying, right? And lying and guilt kind of go hand in hand because you could be lying because you feel guilty about something you did, or you could
Mm-hmm.
be lying and the lying is making you feel guilty. But either way, they kind of go hand in hand. It seems like that's what he's picking up on. He's picking up on the lying and the guilt and, associating that with cheating. And it doesn't necessarily have to be cheating, right? I
True.
mean, there's all kinds of things. I mean, sure, life is not an actual after school special. I understand that. But, I watched all of the 6 seasons of Sister Sister, and now I started on Moesha. And so you see this happen a lot where people are lying about stuff and acting shady. And the reason why they're doing it is because they were ashamed to tell you the real reason, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the episode I just watched, Hakeem's not paying Moesha back her money because actually his mom got laid off, and they can't even pay their bills, let alone buy food. So it's like, and he's ashamed of that. He doesn't want to, I guess, have people look at his mom away or look at him away or whatever. So rather than just tell his best friend the truth, instead he just makes up a bunch of excuses and then hides from her when she's looking for her money. So, it could be something like that. It could be, she's hiding something that it's not cheating, but something maybe she feels ashamed about in her life, or that, she's not ready to talk to you about or whatever. And so she's making up excuses whenever that thing comes up. Like, I don't know how long y'all have been dating. Maybe her father's in prison and she doesn't want you to know her father's in prison. So when she doesn't answer the phone, those are the weeks that she's visiting her dad in prison. And instead of just telling you that, she's making up a whole bunch of foolishness. Instead, we don't know, right?
True.
So it could be something like that. But I do think that, kind of like you said, there's cause to be concerned. There's cause to kind of keep your eye on her. And if it was me, this is one of those come to Jesus moments. If I start thinking you're cheating on me, whether you are or not, that's kind of an erosion of trust in the relationship. At that point, I feel like things have broken down enough that either we sit down and you tell me what's up, or we're going to end up breaking up, because there's no way you can continue building a relationship when I'm looking at you thinking you're cheating on me and you're hiding something from me that makes me look at you sideways.
Yeah. And
Right?
that's another thing. I look at the fact that, this guy has this girl. He knows enough to feel that way. So I'm going to have to trust his letter. That's what he feels. Okay. I'm going to have to lean that way because that's what he's leaning.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was suspicious about, the lying part. So he's like, how can you tell, since
Right.
I'm a woman, if a woman is lying?
Mm-hmm.
So I just gave him some ideas of what I know about liars and how they do it.
Right. Hmm. I mean, if you're talking about, see, that's a hard one though, because again, then I'd need to know more about her, because see, the way I lie is
Hmm.
very different than maybe other people's way of lying. Um, because I offer too much detail in general. That is actually my normal method of communication, right? So I
Right.
offer way too much information. TMI might even make me look terrible, might make you like just go bug eyed looking at me like, I can't believe that's true. And why would you tell me? Right. Whereas, so when I'm lying, I actually go the opposite way because I don't really like to lie. It makes me feel really uncomfortable. So I'm more likely to just avoid answering at all. I'm more likely to either avoid answering, um, you know, and I don't mean like kind of deflect, I mean literally avoid you so I don't have to answer,
Hmm.
or give you a very, very short answer, right? Or I'm the type that would be more likely to get snippy or defensive or even start a fight about something just so you get distracted of asking me the question I don't want to lie about. So I'll tell the truth about something else that I'm angry about, once, even though I'm not really angry, but it's just something true. So that way we can focus on something true and I don't have to lie to you. Right. So, I mean, it depends on the woman too, right? So it would be helpful to know a little bit more about how long you've been together, or, even how old you are. Because I think that makes a difference too, right? Like a younger girl might be more willing to lie to you and start playing these little games just when she just has a crush on someone else. Like she hasn't cheated. She just, her eye got caught. She caught, the eye of some guy, and that made her
Hmm.
start looking at you differently. And now all of a sudden she's avoiding you because she was stalking him on Instagram, but she doesn't want to tell you about that because she's ashamed, but she's not sure what she wants to do. And the other guy didn't ask her out yet anyway. And you know what I mean? So it does depend on the age, I think, too.
Okay.
Hmm.
Welcome to the panel, Vonda. How are you?
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, Ruby. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Sure, anytime.
Okay, so this is my take on it. Now, number one, if she was telling him a fantastic story It's very possible that she was, like you said, Char, mixing some lies up in there. And he also has to look at her the typical way that she tells stories, like the way Ruby was talking about. You know, she tends to use a lot of detail. That's just the way she is. You know, if this girl came in and she just had this elaborate, fantastic, amazing story, and he could just feel it, like, this does not sit right with me. What he's going to have to do, I mean, she's not going to come out and say, you want to know where I was cheating on you. She's not going to say that, especially if she's not mad at him, especially if, you know, he's a good dude, you know, and she would look like a jerk, you know, for cheating on him. So he needs to have patience, because if she's gotten away with it and she's like, oh, I just told him that old fantastic story and he believed it, she's going to let her guard down. She's not going to be crossing her T's and dotting her I's. And he will have another chance, because she's going to keep doing it. Whatever messed up stuff she's doing, she's not going to stop. She's not going to be like, whew, that was close. I'm never going to do that again. That's not going to happen. She's going to be like, oh, okay, that fool don't know. And she's going to continue. And he will have the opportunity to catch her red-handed, pants down, panties around the ankles, everything. He'll be able to catch it.
That's a fair point too. I mean, that's what I wonder though sometimes. I mean, if you think she's cheating on you, right? Like if you think she is, and that's how you feel about the situation, so you're kind of already feeling that hurt and betrayal and whatever. Like, if you did catch her, would you leave her? If she did admit it, would you leave her? Like, what are you looking for from you knowing what's going on? Do you know what I mean? Like, I do wonder that a little bit sometimes, because I've known women, I can't say I've known men necessarily who've done this, but I've known women who have gone through this whole entire thing. I mean, they've literally played detective. They've gone low-key stalker, everything, to prove their man was cheating, so they could yell and scream about it and then not leave him. So, like,
yeah.
Right? Like, why do you want to know? Do you want to, you know, catch her? Because do you need like that incontrovertible proof that she actually is cheating on you for you to leave? Is that why you want us to be able to prove, like, okay, she is definitely lying, and then that will start you on your stalker mission so you could catch her cheating so you can leave? Because if that's the case, I will say this: you should probably just leave. That's what I would do. I give you a come to Jesus moment. And then if you don't automatically fess up that you are lying about at least something and give me what the something is, then I'll just leave, because eventually you're going to catch her. Like Vonda said, she's just going to keep doing it anyway. You're going to keep wasting your time and your energy, because you are still low-key investing, even if you think that she's cheating, because you're saying, well, there's a chance she might not be. And then when you catch her, you're going to be extra devastated, extra insulted, extra everything, and you're going to leave. So why not cut to the chase and just do it now?
Well, you know what? You know what? And that is the thing, because, okay, what will be his course of action if he finds out? Now, typically, and this is just typically, men do not take their women back, you know, when they found out they've cheated. Women, on the other hand, oh, he's always cheating on me. You know, that's like this, you know, stereotype. Women tend to take back the men tend to be one and done with her.
Yeah.
So he has to figure out, you know, okay, if I find out she's cheating, am I trying to find out because I'm about to be heartbroken and I want to keep her, you know, or, you know, am I going to bust her head in when I find out, you know, she's cheating? If he feels like he will, you know, like, you know, choke her out or, you know, go upside her head, like Ruby said, he might want to just walk away. But that's if he's really cheating. Now, on the other hand, what if dude is just hella insecure and just paranoid? What if and some men are like that, super duper extra paranoid, and it wouldn't matter what she told him. even if her story wasn't a fantastic story, she could have gave him a one line, answer, and that wouldn't have been enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you don't have anything more to say? Just that, you had to get gas? What? It took you that long to get gas? Yeah,
Right.
gas. I got gas. I mean, what else do you want me to say? I was getting gas.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I mean, because one thing, especially if you've been cheated on before and you didn't really take, a lot of time to actually heal from that point, then, every new relationship you get into, you're going to look for signs that it's happening all over again because you're expecting it in a way to happen all over again. So, if your cheater girlfriend, the second that she didn't call you back that first time, you find out that was the first time she cheated on you or whatever. Well, then the first time the new girlfriend doesn't call you back, you're just going to assume she must be cheating on you. That's because, confirmation bias. You're looking for confirmation. You must be right. And you're the kind of guy that gets cheated on all the time. And you'll dismiss any information that tells you, no, this is not the same as the last girl. It's not the same relationship, not the same woman, not the same, even the way she handled it after the fact. So, I mean, there could be that as well, but then the question comes down to if you're that insecure and you're looking at her face, you're listening to her voice, and you just outright don't trust her and don't believe her, you can't prove a negative, right? And this is part of the issue. If someone just doesn't trust me, right? Like, let's say just someone doesn't trust me. It doesn't have to be a man. It could be friend, family. If they just don't trust me and I'm doing nothing untrustworthy, there's nothing I can do to prove that. Nothing. Right? Because you can't prove the negative. So why stay then in that case? Do you know what I mean? Like, she can never prove to you that she's trustworthy enough if you've decided that she's not trustworthy. And if so it's because it's either being paranoid, right? And you've just decided she's untrustworthy, and she can never prove anything to you about that, ever. You can stay with her for 20 years and you're going to forever be not trusting her, which means your relationship is never going to really be fully developed. Or you can break up with her, because she's either cheating on you or not cheating on you. It all ends the same way, though, I guess, whereas are you really ever happy and fulfilled? And then I think afterwards, you've got to make a decision. If you break up with her and she wasn't really cheating, well, maybe you need to do some work on you to work through that insecurity and paranoia.
I agree with that. That would be the main thing. Work on yourself, work on your self-esteem, your insecurities, because there won't be enough that she can do to show you that she's not cheating on you unless she's on your hip 24/7. And that's just not possible. There's no way. I don't care how much you love somebody, how long you've been with somebody. It's just not possible to be around them all the time. And ladies, let's just keep it a buck. We already know that there are several reasons besides cheating why we don't answer our phones.
True.
Every time we don't answer our phone, it does not mean we're getting banged or we're cheating or we're doing something we're not supposed to. So that right there, is where it starts. If this is all based on just because I didn't answer my phone, we're going to have to nip this in the bud today. I have been in a situation where, constantly not trusted. And I'm just like, there was absolutely nothing that I could do.
Yeah.
Now, did you, just to twist it just a little bit, because I'm curious, were you the one to leave that relationship?
Eventually the relationship broke down because of the lack of trust.
Okay, because normally what I found find women are the one that leave when that type of thing happens. So if this guy is that type of man, I think he would just really been putting a lot of pressure on her. He wouldn't just stand back and just, observe. He would just put pressure on her. What you been doing? Where you at? I haven't seen you. What's going on? He would be that type of guy.
But there would be one way. Now, if they did have a trustworthy relationship, then I would see absolutely no problem with him having the password to her phone. And vice versa. If this is a trusting, loving relationship, then hey, while I'm asleep, open my phone and go all through it. Because that's where the evidence is.
Okay, I'm about to do a sound bite here. Because I hear it in the atmosphere. I don't, hear it, it's in the chat room. And it's from DJ Music. I can tell you right now, I can hear him now, and he's going, So I just want to tell you, I already know that's what he's saying. I'm pretty sure he will confirm it, because I'm actually thinking that a little bit myself. I'm like, about that password. I don't know, but you continue. Just wanted to throw that out.
And let's just be real. Now, when we're talking about the pass code to our phone, we're not just talking about a dude we just start dating on Tuesday. This is, this apparently, I would assume, because we're just going to fill in the gaps of the stuff that we don't know. We're going to assume that this is a trusting, one-on-one relationship, so not only do you have, all of the evidence on the phone, I mean, you have other personal things on your phone, because your phone is like your wallet. Your phone is your wallet, your checkbook, everything, So if he wanted to go through her phone, I mean, she should let him, but he should also offer that same thing to her if she wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. Now, I know most people disagree, because I've actually had this conversation online with people, but I've just kind of always been like that, and I have tended to date people who are just like that. Just my phone is an open book, and vice versa. So if there's a lock on the phone, I tend to know what the passwords are, and vice versa, right? In the case of me and Mr. Ruby, like, our fingerprints open each other's phones on top of knowing what the actual password is, right? So I mean, I don't. It's never been a thing for me, because I'm not doing anything that is untoward or that I'm trying to hide or whatever. And I don't care if you go through my phone to confirm that for yourself because you have a paranoid moment at 3 o'clock in the morning one day. I don't care. It really doesn't faze me. And I've never understood the reasoning. I really haven't. If you're not up to no good, if you're not doing something that your girlfriend or your wife or your boyfriend or your husband would find wrong or disrespectful or crossing a line, then I don't see why you would have a problem with it. I just don't personally understand that. I understand having privacy from the world, as far as your coworker can't just walk by and go through your phone and see sexy pictures of your wife or whatever. I get that, right? I don't understand why you need to have that level of privacy from each other. So that's just me. I don't know. Someone's gonna have to explain that one to me.
Greetings, DeAndre. How are you? Welcome.
Oh, just in time.
Hey,
right.
How are
you? How you doing? Y'all about to throw these chairs.
What's up?
Captain Petty shall put on his cape and jump out of his phone booth.
I know it.
Got my wine. I'm ready.
Get it.
Good evening to all, and how are you guys doing?
Great.
How are you doing?
Good.
All right. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I believe in the fundamental rules, because I'm an only child, of personal space, right? And if I'm not going in your stuff, you damn sure better keep your hands off of my stuff. If God wanted me to share my personal space, I would have been a Siamese twin. He would have boined me. We would have been conjoined to each other by the hip, the head, the leg, the stomach, or the back. My personal space is arm's distance and everything that belongs in my preview, right? If it's, I don't care if you gave it to me. I don't get, baby, happy anniversary. I brought you a brand new phone. Here you go, right? It's mine now. You have gifted it to me. That means it's mine. I'm not going in yours. You ain't going in mine. Listen, if you gonna cheat, right? It's gonna happen whether I'm looking at you or not. I gotta sleep sometime. You gotta sleep sometime. You gotta go to the toilet sometime. You gotta go into the shower sometimes. You gotta go to work. You gotta blink your eyes. Oh my God, I fell onto something, fell into some coochie. You fell onto some penis. Just slip, fall. It happens. Maybe not. But here's the thing, right? When you
That's never an accident.
Exactly. It's never an accident. So what are you going into the phone to prevent an accident? This is not a child. We don't need to child lock the phone. Like we got child proof the house. What you want to child proof the private regions? Like it's like this is the thing about people and human beings, right? The second that you gotta go into someone's phone and their personal thing, right? Like you said, your phone is your wallet now, right? You got to pay for things. You got to do stuff. You got to this, that, and the other. The second that you go into someone's phone, trust has breached to an all-time high. What did people do back in the day before the invention of phones? What did they do? Plenty of women have caught men cheating without technology. Cold gut, because men are ignorant.
Yeah,
right? Men get complacent. If you catch a woman cheating, she wanted you to catch her cheating. She wanted you to catch her cheating. Women are the sneakiest people on the face of the planet. They can hide bank accounts. You don't even know. It's money tucked in drawers and fan units all around the house. Money in the freezer. Money in that bra strap in the back underneath the... Man, you can search the whole house for something and a woman can hide it from you right in front of your face in places you wouldn't even think to look. The reason why men get caught cheating is because we get complacent and we get into I don't cares, right? Women can cheat on you, sit in your face, cross her legs for years, and then when you go to retire, take half of your stuff and laugh at you because she was messing with the dude down the street. The whole time. So if he thinking that his girlfriend cheating on him, 9 times out of 10 she is because she's just leaving you the evidence. It's right there. You don't got to go on the phone, bro. You can tell. Just pay attention. Take 5 seconds and just look.
Okay, hold on. Fair enough. But I'm going to say this, right? Because I was an only child too. I mean, at least legally, I'm an only child. Legally, I'm an only child because my sister was born after I had already turned 10, which legally makes you an only child because you don't grow up together. No, it does. Literally, like under the eyes of the law, for example, like when it comes to taxes, when it comes to everything, they treat you as only children. But I didn't grow up with her, right? So I'm an only child. And actually I didn't really even grow up in such a way where like there were kids in my neighborhood because I was always bused to schools and stuff, right? So I didn't know kids in my neighborhood or whatever. I literally grew up alone and there was no kids in my family, really. I had one cousin that was in my age category on one side of my family and that was it. Like I was alone. So I kind of, on one side, I get what you're saying, but see, for me, for example, I wanted my privacy. Like I kept getting diaries for Christmas and then I wouldn't write in them. Because I figured I'm not stupid, right? I'm going to write some stuff in this. This key looks weak as hell. I'm sure you could pop this lock if you had any concept of what you're doing. And then all my private thoughts are going to be what my parents know, right? Just like I never put anything in my room I didn't want to be found because I didn't really trust that they were giving me real privacy, not real privacy. Yeah. So, but see, now why did I need that privacy from my parents? The way I see it is because I said or did or thought things I didn't want them to know because I thought I might get in trouble for it, because I thought they wouldn't understand a variety of things, right? Maybe because I was breaking rules, because sometimes I really was. So I was hiding things from them. And, you know, most kids are. That's what kids do. So that's why I needed privacy from my parents, right? And so this is why I revert back to now, I don't really personally have anything to hide. Because I believe in the tenets in a marriage of open honesty, not just honesty, but open honesty. So in general, my spouse probably knows too much about me, if we're being honest, because I am an oversharer. And that being said, I also don't believe in punishing someone for honesty. So I don't really care if you watch porn or if you whatever. I don't really care what you're doing with your life or whatever. I'm not here stalking your phone. I often don't get passwords because I'm trying to stalk you or for you to prove you're not cheating. It's normally something like you say, call this for me. And I'm like, my phone's dead, remember? Okay, use my phone. And I go to use it. It's password, and I'll hand you the phone. And just be like, oh, the password is 1416. Wait, what? Are you sure you want me to know? Okay. And then I know, right? But it's not like a thing where it's about stalking each other and whatever. It's just more about, I trust you to have this password. I trust you not to abuse that or the privilege of having my phone or whatever, right? And I'm not sitting there up in it 24/7, but like, I don't know. Like, to me, the only thing I would want a password on my phone for is if I knew I was up to no good and I didn't want you to know. That's what it is.
No, I have a password on my phone because it does hold a lot of personal financial documents and whatnot. So in general, I am going to have a passcode on my phone. My thing is that if I'm in a relationship, you know, with the man and, you know, it's a monogamous relationship, I will not have a problem with him having the password to my phone if it is a two-way street. Now, if he's all super protective of his phone and he don't want me touching it, he for damn sure won't be peeking at mine. And it's not because I have something in it. It's because, hey, this is a two-way street. We're not going one way down this road. This is a two-way street. You know, if you would prefer I didn't look under your phone, I'm gonna have the same preference. I don't need you, you know, going through my phone. Now, if he felt like it was mandatory that he go through my phone and he needs to see something, but he doesn't want me touching his, that just tells me that he's probably doing something and he's just trying to check on me to make sure I'm not doing what he's doing.
See, but that in and of itself is my whole point. Because see, if we were in a relationship, right, like you said at the very beginning, my phone has all kinds of stuff in there that, you know, just some random person I'm dating is not privy to, right? So our relationship, just like for me, you know, sex is not part of the getting to know you process. You know what I mean? You don't just get passwords to my phone on the second date. Here you go, right? But if we get to a certain place in the relationship where I'm supposed to let you have my body, like you are supposed to enter me physically and leave a piece of your semen inside of my body forever, because that's what happens, right? Then, but you're saying, no, my phone is too private. No, seriously, that relationship isn't going to go anywhere for me, right? Because I could not live in a marriage. I could not live for the rest of my life. I could not raise children with someone who needs that level of privacy away from me. I would always feel like as a result, there was always a Grand Canyon of privacy between the two of us that you know, we can't transcend and whatever. And if there was any discussion about it, it would be like, you're violating my privacy, we already discussed this. And to me, that just would be too much. Like, it just really would. And again, it's not because I'd be stalking you with the information. I don't really go into my man's phone for anything except for like when my phone's not here and I want to look something up on Google real quick and his phone is here. So okay, I'm going to grab it, I'm going to use it, right, for like 2 seconds. I'm not using it. I'm not stalking him. I'm not going through his stuff. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems weird to me. It does. It seems weird that you're supposed to enter my body with a piece of your body and jizz stuff into me, and I'm supposed to carry children and that are going to come out of my body in painful ways. And then I'm supposed to let those children suckle at my teeth. But looking at your phone is too private.
Booty.
I like how you said that, Ruby. And as much as you hold that privacy, that thing for 6 to 12 months of waiting, and we got to figure that out. You gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna let you
for 6 to 12 months, sure, no problem. For the rest of our lives, no. 6 to 12 months, sure. Right?
And guess what? And it's gonna be like Mission Impossible. You gonna need retina scans. I'm gonna need some blood work. You gonna need some algorithm changes. Boy, you gonna need Bill Gates and Steve Jobs to get into my phone. Listen, I'm telling you. Listen, the same type of I gotta, okay, is she good today? Can I kiss now? Can I grab the can I pop the bra strap here? No, that's too soon. Okay, now let me wait a little bit longer. Let me go over here. Let me warm it up like a 78 Bonneville. You're going to do the same thing with my phone. Is it up, down, left, right, A, B, start? No. Is it 1, 2, 3? No, that's not right. No, beep, beep, beep. Why is these alarms going off in the phone? Why you on my phone, baby? You don't trust me? What you looking for? I need to ask you to
those are two different things, man, because I willingly spread my legs for you at some point. So you have to willingly be trusting me and opening your privacy to me, right? Like you don't break in one day I wake up and suddenly you're about to slide it in, right? Like, no, this is a willing exchange.
Right? So okay, you exchange the coochie for passwords to the cell phone.
There you go. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no.
Right here, Ruby. Right here. I got you.
She is so honest, I must say.
Yeah, now, I'm too honest, I think. As I told you, I'm an oversharer. What can I do?
Now, let me say this part of it. Now, if we were kids, if we were, teens, I like you, you like me. We were, kids, 12, 13, coming into puberty. And I get it, because I do see kids do that. They'll share each other's phone and all that and passwords. But I don't know. It's just something about being an adult. It just seems like it just should be a cutoff there. Now, I understand what you're saying, Ruby. Hey, I understand. Clearly. For me, that's just a little bit too much. I don't need to know what's in your phone. You don't need to know what's in mine. But, I respect your opinion.
Yeah. And listen, I'm going to say like this, right? If my wife is sitting there and she say, hey, the phone's ringing. Hey, can you pick it up for me? The phone's locked. This is the password to get into the phone, right? She's not looking in my phone, looking over my shoulder, what's going on, right? And I'm not doing it to her. Like, I'll walk past in the house and she'll say, hey, I'll say, hey, your phone's ringing. She say, hey, hand me the phone. Here you go, right? That's it, right? Do I know the code to a phone? Maybe, maybe not. I forget. I don't know. It's not at the top of my list of things to do. I got other things to think about, right? And here's the other thing, right? And this is a guy saying his girlfriend is, I guess girlfriend is cheating, right? Now with men, right? Now let's just break it down, right? When men and women are together, the woman takes up 80 to 90% of all space in the home. All space. Closets, rooms, pictures on walls, all space, right? Now, with that being said, right? The little bit of 10% of the space, personal items, phones included, man cave items, right? The little corner that we're shoved into, that little seat by the television that Paul got. That's his only space in the house. But the garage, right? If he ain't fixing something or whatever, those are private matters. I think everybody should have privacy. Now, when Ruby was saying when I was a kid, you're a child, you pay no bills, you don't have any privacy. I'm surprised you had doors on, like you had doors like to your room, right? No kid has privacy in my house because I pay for everything. You can have all the privacy you want when you move out of my house. Private citizen, because you pay for your stuff. If you ain't paying for nothing in here, you ain't got no privacy. You ain't an adult. You're a child. And even when you do go back to your parents' house as a grown person, you think I'm grown now, you still ain't got no privacy because guess who house you in? Your parents' house, right? And those are the rights bestowed on you by God, like you said, Ruby, for carrying something for 9 months, for having your body reconform itself and unconstrict and stretch apart and bones realigning and rejustifying and gestating, and they just telling you to go to the bathroom when they feel like it. And then you go through 36 to 48, 72 hours of labor, right? So you have the God-given right to snatch away all privacy within the place that you provide, right? Because God knows they seen the insides of your body. You ain't got no more privacy. See, that's how it works with children and parents. Like you said, we're together. We're joined together. You were Siamese twins for 9 months. Y'all don't have any privacy. Everything that they got, you got, right? But when it comes to two grown folks, like Char said, is if you suspect somebody of doing something and you ask them and they tell you no, but the evidence prove otherwise, any more investigation. Now, I do say this, in a court of law, if you're married, when we're talking about alimony and child support, oh, you can get court orders to get them phone records.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole different ballgame. He said his girlfriend, not his wife.
Right.
But you know what though? Here's the thing. There is a difference between having each other's passwords and having access to each other's phones and being a stalker, right? No, there is, right? Even in a marriage, there is, right? So I don't think, right? I mean, I don't think anyone who agreed with me, I know Ori in the chat agreed with me as well, is saying, well, no, every time you get a text message, you should tell me who it is. And I should be able to look over your shoulder as you write back and forth to your, friends and family members. And I should be privy to every private thought you have to friends and family members and everybody. And I should be able to just read through all those conversations every second of every day. So I always know what you're thinking. Like, no, that is unhealthy behavior in general. If you have that urge, period, whether you have that person's phone or not, that's not healthy. Right? It's not healthy. I don't do that. I've had the password to like every boyfriend's everything since like having boyfriends. I'm being real. Like I really always just have. Right? But I'm not a stalker by nature. I'm not sitting there like, listen, I don't care what you're talking about to your friends or whatever. I don't care what porn you're looking at. I don't care. I honestly really don't. Right? But now that being said, if you start acting real funny, right? So for example, like, okay, I don't expect you're going to, every single time you answer the phone, sometimes you're going to have a private conversation with someone, so you're going to go in the next room, or maybe I'm doing something, you go in the next room, whatever. But if you start going into the bathroom and whispering into your phone so I can't hear what you're saying, and you do that every single time, or like, as soon as your phone rings, now you jump at it so that way I can't see who's calling, right? I'm going to start thinking, something is off about this scenario. Now, I'm not an idiot because I've been cheated on very religiously for 5 years once, right? So I already know that you can delete everything off of a phone. So actually having access to someone's phone in and of itself is proof of nothing. And so with phone calls, for example, like what would I be looking for? I would be waiting for the bill. The bill's going to come at some point. Right. And then I'm just going to start cross-referencing all the phone numbers with every phone number you have. And at some point, I'm going to find that phone number, that phone call that happened at 7:45 and blah, 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 and whatever, and start investigating that way, which I did do. It drove me crazy to have to be an amateur detective stalking this guy who I was sure was cheating on me, and everyone else was telling me I was crazy, which is why I said, if I got to the level where I disbelieve you and I just think you're cheating on me that diligently, and when I sit down to talk to you about it, you don't start fessing up about what's really going on, even if it's not cheating, I will just leave you, because I know what that did to me for 5 years. Like, we're not having this thing where I have to use that privilege of I know how to get into your phone to stalk you with it. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like that. It should just be a force of ease, because we are a dynamic duo. And sometimes your phone's over here and my phone's right where we are, and you need to use a phone here. And I don't want to stop what I'm doing to have to unlock the damn phone for you. Here, do it. So,
And I'm gonna help you out with that, Ruby. And I agree with you. I would say the women on the panel are logical people, and the women on the panel have things that they think, right? But let's talk about regular people, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? Right? Let's talk about regular, everyday, the average Joe, right? People are nosy. They're nosy. They're goddamn nosy. Right? They don't know how to keep themselves in the house. This newer generation, they don't know what signifying is. They don't know what that is. They don't know what tattletaling is. They snitch on themselves. They damn sure gonna snitch on you.
It's a different culture. It's a different culture. I'm gonna tell everybody what I'm doing.
Right. Look at me.
There's a reason why a private investigator makes the money that they do, because what they're doing takes a lot of time. Now, in my past life, I was a private investigator. And I mean that, in a past relationship, and it took a lot of freaking time to comb through all of the evidence. Now, granted, let me just tell you, there was plenty of times I went through it with a fine-tooth comb and found Nathan, not a damn thing, but I knew something wasn't right. That mess can drive you nuts. I don't have time for it. I'm not going to do it. My thing is like I said, the more you don't say anything, the more relaxed he'll become, the more careless he is. Because like Dre said, men tend to be careless anyway.
Yep.
So if his woman is not hounding him, she's not all on his back, he's going to slip, fall into the cooch, and guess who's gonna come walking by while he done fell into that cooch? His woman. She gonna it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. My thing is that timing can be of the essence, if he's having unprotected sex, or if this chick is just raunchy and dirty, hopefully it's not that way. And you can find out and before you get an STI and everything is flaming and on fire, because nobody wants that. But as far as doing all that stalking and that investigating, I'm not going to do it. It takes too much time. And sometimes there are some things that are not for you. Even in a relationship with a couple, everything is not for everybody. Now, I'm in a trusting, committed relationship. We're living together in the same home. It's not going to be a big deal if he uses my phone. It shouldn't be a big deal if I use his. But what you watch for certain things, like if you're like, you just happen to just, how come I don't never see his phone? I ain't never heard that sucker ring. It's always on silent. It's never around. Don't you have a phone? And
very good, grasshopper.
But the phone is all just hidden all the time. That's a little something to be worried about.
Hey,
or if you innocently go to touch his phone, he's like, oh no, I got it. Okay, hey, wait, chill out, calm down.
Like he in the middle of a football game and he jumping across the couch to tackle
like,
to get to the ball.
Right? Phone screen always down if he puts it down on the table ever. Always very close to him where you can't touch it.
Something's going on with that. Now, I didn't really realize the big deal with the phone because, I have never shared my passcode with anybody. My passcode is mine. Like I say, my phone holds a lot of my stuff in it, and it's not for everybody. Now, when we're talking about financial documents, if you're not putting in on this finance, you don't get to know all that's going on with the finance. These are my finances, not yours. Now, if we have joint financial things going on, then by all means, you should be able to, check my records, but if we're really that separate, then, I don't see any reason why he should be going through my phone, and I don't want to go through his. But I was watching, like some Instagram little skits, and it was funny because the person was like, oh, the phone's ringing. Can you get it? Oh, you want me to get your phone? Like the woman was so surprised. Like he was just telling her, oh yeah, go ahead and answer the phone. She's like, oh, you want me to get it? So that apparently is a big deal, and a big breakthrough, if a man lets you touch his phone. Because I'm just going to tell you, I typically men don't tend to let anyone come near or around their phone.
Because I'm going to say it like this, how women feel, right, about their chastity is how men feel about certain things that belong to them. The phone in this modern day era is the thing. Back in the day, hey, baby, go ahead and drive the car. You going to let me drive the car? You going to let me drive your car? Like that was the thing back in the day.
You're right, Dre. You're right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a man, like you're like, oh, babe, I gotta go to the store. My car ain't working and stuff like that. Can you take me? No, baby, here you go. Here's the car. You gonna let me drive your car? Yeah, go ahead. Or if the man got his last bit of food and he gonna share it with you, baby, you want this? Or he let you get his food first without you asking. Baby, try this for me. Go ahead, try that. Right? Like, if you can eat off a man's plate, you can drive a man's car, and you can answer a man's phone, you are 3/4 the way to being married.
You are
You know,
in there.
You know what, Trey? You are so right with that. I don't know what it is with you men that you guys have this thing that if she just wants a little scoop of potatoes off your plate, it is like asking for your entire paycheck.
Yes, it is. yes, it is.
You hear some growling.
Yes, it is.
I want that piece of broccoli. Your own broccoli. Well, I just want that one. I want the one that's on your plate.
Yeah.
And I've been in that moment before, and it was like hell to pay, you know, just to get that broccoli or that little scoop of potatoes. Oh, that looks good. Let me taste it. Don't you have your own?
No, you know what? I can explain this one. I'll explain this women speak. I'll explain it in women speak because I happen to be that person in my relationships, right? So here's the thing, right? So I go through this menu and I find the perfect plate for me. I am looking forward to maybe we were planning in advance for this or whatever, but I am looking forward to this meal. You don't understand how much I'm looking forward to what I'm going to eat, what I want to eat. You chose your meal. You chose what you wanted. I didn't want that because if I wanted that, I would have ordered it. I ordered exactly what I want, and boy, am I hungry. And then my plate comes, and of course it smells better, and of course it looks better because I was careful. I studied those ingredients. I knew what was going to taste good, okay? And you taste your bland-ass looking meal, and it's bland as hell, right? And you just see me going, enjoying my little meal that I've been looking forward to maybe all week. And so now you want a piece of it. So you want to take away a piece of my joy, and you want to exchange it with some of your bland over there, right? That is patently unfair. Like, you are stealing a piece of my joy because you made a bad decision. That's on you. Take your L, right? That's how I see it. Take your L.
Selfish, Ruby.
Selfish. Who it is? Sorry. Take your L.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it really is, right? And Ruby has it there, almost there, but I'm gonna tell you what it really is.
Well, that's what it is for me. I was just telling. I don't know what you. That's me. Go take your L.
It's almost there. It's almost there. You got about like you're almost at 50%. So I'm gonna give you the rest of the 50%, right? Here you go. What it really is with that, a man's job is to provide, right? For the family, right? His internal DNA, right? His job is to provide for the family as a whole, right? Before you have children, you have to make children. Mm-hmm. So before you have children, you have a wife, and your wife is your family outside of your mom and your other kinfolk, right? Mm-hmm. I'm getting to the point where I can just provide for me, right? We are in this scenario, right? I paid for your meal. You ordered that, right? I'm eating this. You want a piece off of my plate. The woman that gets the piece off of my plate is the woman that is giving up the cooch, right? Because I am providing for her, right? To the point where we will be family. So if you're going to dig in on my plate, or I'm going to offer you my last bite, or something that I feel that is the thing that I like, right? Then when you get to that point, I shall provide for you for the rest of our lives together. That little symbolic gesture right there that men do. We don't do like, those grand things, but little stuff like that, or take my car. We don't listen. If men could get women walking down the street without a car, guess what? We wouldn't have cars. We wouldn't have cars. Remember, they used to put people in the back of wagons and have people in the front pulling them. Like, the only reason that you have a vehicle is for practical reasons of pulling loads, right? Just having a vehicle to put people in and that's it makes absolutely no sense at all. It's not even logical. Why would someone make a 2-seated car with no trunk space to get a woman? That's it. Case closed, bottom line. If I give you the keys to my car, I'm telling all the women I am off the market. If you see this woman riding in a car that looks like it belongs to a man, then her man is off the market. If he allows her to drive his car with him in the passenger seat or her by herself, and you know, a woman, when she get in that car and she in there by herself, she ain't just going to drive to the store and back. Oh, she going to go through the whole neighborhood slow as hell. Yeah, bitch, I got him. I got him. Y'all can't have him. I got him. He mine now. That's what it is. And he knows that. And he
You know what?
He knows it.
I see why it's different. I see why it's different because you see, so men and women are different inherently, right? So you think about it, when a man or when a woman is being courted, I guess, right? Because realistically, when a man finds that one, he's finally going to marry, right? In a way, he's courting her in a different way than he's ever dated any other woman, right? I mean, generally, he's treating her really well because in general, he wants her to say yes, right? He knows he's going to propose. Goddamn, he really needs her to say yes there. He wants her to say yes at the altar, whatever. You know, he's found that good woman. And you're that good woman. And that is constantly appreciated. And then you become a wife, right? And I don't know about the mother part. I'm going to assume that it gets worse from there. But then you become a wife, and then all of that good woman that you are is just a little less appreciated. It's not actually less appreciated, but the appreciation, the you know, active appreciation that you are showing me constantly for being such a good woman, just inherently for existing, no longer exists, right? Yeah. And I'm sacrificing constantly. I'm still that good woman. So I will constantly sacrifice things for myself to make sure that my man is taken care of. Right? Because I take care of house and home, so that means you're part of that. So I'm going to make sure you won't know I went without, so that way you could have something because of blah, blah, blah. You won't know that. I'll just do it. Right? Yeah. And so, again, this one meal you bought me, this, and I'm not saying you didn't buy all the food in the house or what. I'm saying that this special date we're having, where you brought me out, someone else cooked it, I didn't have to, it's going to be delicious. I get to eat delicious food someone else cooked, and now you want to take it from me? Like this is you saying thank you, bro. Now you want to take a piece of the thank you because you again sit on your L. This is your thank you for the last 6 months of sacrifices and no thank yous and just taking it for granted. Okay,
you guys. Okay, let me just say this.
And I'm behind you, Rhonda.
This right here. Go ahead. My disclaimer. Okay, now, okay, I'm just gonna say it. Now, the food that I tend to eat, nobody else wants. Nobody wants a scoop of my quinoa. Nobody wants a fork full of my salad. You know, nobody really wants what I have. So it's like
apparently neither do you.
I do.
You're gonna eat his food.
I have taste buds. So my thing is I like to have variety. So when I prepare my meals, okay, I don't just have like, you know, like one thing on my plate. I have like several little different things. So when I get, you know, like my quinoa salad, you know, and then I'm like I'm like, oh my gosh, what you have looks really good, you know, and I'm like, let's share. And he's like, no, I don't want to share. I don't want none of yours. And I just maybe just want a little taste or a little bite. And that little taste or bite will satisfy me. Is that too much to ask for a little taste or a little bite?
Yes, you know why? Because you ordered something you know he doesn't want and he doesn't like. So then what is he trading for? Something else? Do you see what I'm saying? You're asking him to take something he doesn't want. So he doesn't want it. So that means he's just going without.
It's for love. Give me that love bite. That love.
If you loved him, then you would order something on your plate he'd be willing to trade. You see what I'm saying? That's compromise.
I like variety. I like a little bit of variety, so I don't mind to get a little taste, but I don't want a whole plate of what he has.
Then order some variety on the side. You see what I'm saying?
There you go. Side order. Right. Let me speak to on Ruby and then on Vonda former life. I have 2 things to comment. There was a time, and I had asked my guy if he wanted something. I was getting ready to order some wings. And I said, do you want any? He said, no. So I placed an order, and I just got 3 wings. Now, that's a serving size. That's it. And I think I maybe finished one and about to bite into the other one. And then he asked for one, and I told him no. And then he tried to criticize me about me saying no. And only thing I remember is I end up throwing what was left against the wall. I cannot tell you what happened. All I can tell you is I know my reason for doing it was if I can't enjoy it, neither will you. Now, that's terrible. That's awful. That's like, gee, you had to go that far. But I don't know what happened. I think I might have been going through something. I don't know. But I do remember that happening. I end up throwing against the wall. I just blacked out. I really can't tell you what happened. I'm not trying to go asking what happened, but something happened. Is that bad? Somebody dropped out. Who was that? Oh, Miss Ruby. I looked away and I'm like, what happened? Okay, there she go. So I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I thought about that when Ruby was telling her story about, no, this is mine. You can't have it. And she was so passionate about telling it. That's what brought it back to me like, you know what? I threw some food against the wall. That's terrible. But again, like I said, I can't tell you all the circumstances except for I couldn't enjoy it, neither was he. Now, as far as Vonda former life, you knew something, you couldn't find anything, but you know, if a man normally has sex with another woman, he does something a little different. I can't tell you what that is because I've never seen it before, but I know he does something different. And when he comes back to you, there is a difference. And that's how you know. So you had your evidence without having your evidence.
Well,
And
the instinct that sent me on my investigative run, you know, was enough. I mean, your gut instinct is, if you learn how to harness that intuition and harness that feeling, it could really take you through a lot of things, but you have to listen to it, you know? And so, yeah, the only reason why I did look is because something happened, but you know, the tracks were covered so well. And I was like, oh, you know, I don't have it, you know, the document. I didn't have the document in my hand, but yeah, I mean, that it was what it was. You know, it was what it was. But like I said, I spent hours like looking for that, you know, that piece of evidence, that receipt, and I couldn't find it. You know, I couldn't find it. But yeah, my instinct told me right. So like I said, I am not about to, you know, put on no investigative hat. I'm not doing it. That takes up too much time. I'm not getting paid $100 an hour to do that. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna be heartbroken too. No, I am not about to do that. I'm going to, you know, go with my instinct, and I'm gonna, you know, move accordingly.
I hear you. Yeah, but with this guy, you know, again, we don't really know a lot, but I'm going to trust, because the one thing I know about men, they have a habit or a pattern. And if he sees something and he noticed something that's just, you know, different, I get it. Something is going on as far as what we don't know, because we don't have enough details. Could be his birthday coming up, anything. We don't know what's happening. But I am going to say, trust your instincts, keep your eyes open, and don't snoop, because that is a lot of time, energy, and all of that. Yeah. So I do want to just say that before we move forward. So go ahead, ladies and gents. Join right on in, Shadra. Thank you for coming to the panel.
Hey, Shadra.
Hey, good evening, everyone. So I'd like to take everybody to this asshole corner for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes in the asshole corner.
Of course.
So, based on what his letter said, he called her. She didn't answer that night, and then she called back the following day, and gave him a bullshit explanation, which I'm pretty sure he didn't. Well, we don't know whether or not he asked for the explanation, but she gave him a bullshit explanation, right? So, point A, if she is cheating, which she most likely is, because he's guessing that she is, so she most likely is. Does he want to be with her? No. You don't have to find evidence to decide whether you want to stick around or not. And two, she decided she was going to lie to you anyway. If she had to come up with a cockamamie bullshit explanation, all she had to do was say, "I don't want to talk about last night," or, I'm not going to say, or just say, "No, I'm not going to say why I didn't answer the phone last night." She can choose. Those are obvious choices that she can make. She can choose to not respond about the question about the night. If she chooses to lie at that point, she is now a liar and can't be trusted. Forget her. Find somebody else. Life is too short to be playing these kinds of games. Period.
Yep. I kind of co-sign. I mean, that's kind of what I said earlier. Like, does it matter ultimately if the lie is about cheating or not? I mean, for some people it does. For some people, they don't care what the person's lying about as long as it's not, cheating or something akin to cheating. But I mean, and I do think there are some exceptions. Like, I do think it depends on how long they've been in this relationship, right? Because like I said, you might have like a dark family history. Your mom might be a bipolar alcoholic, and you got a really embarrassing call about what's going on with her, and you don't want to tell your new boyfriend that until you guys have gotten a little closer or something. I mean, there could be valid reasons.
Ruby, all those valid reasons and positivity and hope, they don't belong in the asshole corner. She lied. That's it. It's over.
I like this man. He was like spirit animal. Yes. Listen, I got something to say real quick, right? Because I would like to, while we're in the asshole corner, since Sandra took us over here to the asshole corner, right? I like to also, I like to just, I like to just carve out my little petty corner. I even carve out a little petty corner here. You can't cheat if you're not married.
Here you go, Dre. Here you go.
What?
Dre, I knew I could count on you. I knew I could count on you.
I'm just saying.
Thank you, Dre. Thank you.
You can't. Like, it's not.
Dre!
What? You
Dre!
can't. No, like, I'm serious. Like, you ain't supposed to be having sex yourself.
Extra petty. That is super extra petty.
That's true, but the petty is the truth. It doesn't care about feelings.
Dre,
it's the truth. You can't. Listen, you can't be an adulterer and a fornicator at the same time. It don't work like that. It's either one or the other, right?
Oh my gosh! You know what?
It's either, for real. Look. Okay. Two people that are in a relationship go to court. Your Honor, he cheated on me. He did what? Oh, okay, so you're married. No. Bailiff, escort them out of my courtroom. That's what's going to happen.
Where's my belt? Where's my belt? Trey.
No, but it's not true, though. That's actually not true.
That's not, come on now.
It's not even legally true. Actually, no. Most states, and a lot of places in Canada too, definitely recognize your relationship if you've been cohabitating for a certain amount of time, even though you haven't gone and gotten legally married or religiously married. So in that case, if they were to cheat, then the same rules would apply. So actually, yes, they would validate cheating if you've been together for a certain amount of time and you've been living together, cohabitating.
Okay,
right.
Now, obviously, if she wasn't around in her house and he called her last night and she didn't answer the phone and she wasn't living in his house or they're not together, right? This removes them out of the cohabitation, or what we call, or down in the South, come along marriage. Right.
Exactly.
Right. So that right there, that's why I'm in the little petty corner in the asshole section, right? Because if he has to call her, right, and then she waited to the next day to call him, then they don't live together, because she had to come home in the morning, in the evening, the next week, the next day. something. She had to talk to him. So if he had to call her twice, right? And then, well, he had to call her and then she had to call him back, then that means that they're at the early point of the relationship where they even made it to the cohabitation, right? That means, just by this right here, she's not cheating on him. They ain't even maybe he think they're girlfriend and boyfriend and he's just the side dude. Like he's like the backup dude to the real dude she really want to be with. Maybe he don't even know he's the side dude. Maybe he don't.
Well, okay.
You know what? Then she needs to tell him that then. Just because Dre.
Hey,
Dre.
Dre.
Just because they are not living together, just because they are not married, does not mean if he goes and sticks his penis in someone else, or if she goes and falls on a ding-a-ling, that it's not cheating.
But you know what though? No. You know why you're wrong? Because at the end of the day, right? If you can, think about it this way, right? I was just talking about from a legal standpoint, just because you addressed the legal standpoint of marriage, legally, right? But right, when you go into any type of relationship with someone, right, you set rules. So if you're just casually dating, you're absolutely right. You can't cheat on someone you're just casually dating. Why? Because by definition, you're just casually dating. That means you're free and open to see other people and whatever. You have literally not made any commitments to each other. You've made no agreements about what that relationship is going to be or what it's going to look like. But if you've passed that milestone where you have decided to be boyfriend or girlfriend or more at any given point from the time that you have set the boundaries of that relationship, and if that includes monogamy on both sides and you violate that, then that is literally cheating, because you are cheating on an agreement you made with someone else, right? So that's all we have to create social order, right? Our agreements between human beings about the behavior that we are agreeing to do. If I do this and you do this, that's basically what we're doing, right? So in and of itself, if you say, this is what I say to men all the time, there are lots of women out there that would actually be okay with a guy who cannot be fully monogamous, right? There are. So stop lying to people then, right? If you are not in a place where you can be fully monogamous, then don't lie to some chick that you can be fully monogamous and then cheat on her, because that is cheating. If you are lying to her face about something you are doing and you have to do it in order to, because if you told her I'm sleeping with other people, the relationship would be over, well, then that's deception, right? So that's cheating. So whether or not we're saying this is legally enforceable in a court of law for you to be able to sue for $1 million or not, you are still cheating on the agreement, and you are basically defrauding someone into staying with you under false pretenses, which is still wrong.
And that's what I'm saying. It's now I get it, right? And people defraud people all the time, right? Like, what I'm saying? Like, yo, we dating. We've been on 6 dates. We getting serious. You can't wait 6 to 12 months. Hold it.
Okay.
Right? Hold it.
Uh-oh.
Right? You know what I'm saying? No,
Got
but I'm
your
just
kitty hat on.
All right, I'm out the corner now. I'm out the corner. So, but just on some like, and this is the thing that needs to be discussed with, on the legal aspects of certain things, right? Like Ruby brought it up. If you're cohabitating, you're living together, depending on the state, depending on where you live at, that you're just like married folk, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you come along marriage, or you just like married folk, but you shacking up basically, right? But if you're not living together, right, and you want, like y'all, like me and Ruby, you want, okay, passwords for coochie. We switch it off, right? Here, you get all the access to this, and I get access to that, and nothing else, and we being totally truthful with each other. And the second that I do something suspect, you have all rights to go and be Inspector Gadget in everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but this is where you get to a point in the relationship when it gets past that point. If a woman is suspected of cheating and you're suspecting her, right? Now, most men, and I'm gonna say this, most men, 80% of the time, learn that their girlfriend is cheating from one of their friends that that saw her somewhere. One of the friends that saw her somewhere, right? And if his homeboy didn't see her, right, it's usually his girl's friend that told him because she fell out with the girlfriend and fell out. So usually the information comes secondhand. It's not firsthand information. If a man finds his woman cheating 20% of the time on firsthand information, she wanted to be caught.
Oh, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Women tend to be okay, if a woman is in a relationship and she made the decision, you know, to cheat on her man, and she's still with her man, she doesn't want her man to find out. So she's gonna, you know, go through great lengths so that he doesn't find out what she's doing over here. Because, you know, her reasons for cheating is not because she don't want to be with him no more. It could be maybe he's not showing her no attention, or she got mad at him, you know, for whatever reason, or, you know, he cheated on her last year with that bitch, and she's still upset about it, you know. So she's going to, you know, do her thing, and she's going to be discreet. You know, women have a way of, being very discreet and, you know, not putting it all out there. You know, whereas, you know, men, on the other hand, are a little bit different. Now, okay, Sonny Boxing Talk did ask a question, and he was, you know, asking for the panel, would you forgive and still be with a man who cheated on you? And I'm just going to tell you, Sonny, for me, my answer to that is been there, done that. Okay. I was in a relationship, you know, and I was cheated on, and I forgave it, and the relationship went on, you know. But as you get older, you start to realize, you know, the things that you're just not willing to put up with. You know, if I am in a monogamous relationship, I'm not in that monogamous relationship by myself. Whether we're cohabitating, Mr. Petty, married, you know, any of the above, living together, all of that. If we're in a what we consider to be a monogamous relationship, meaning, you know, you're going to be with me, I'm just going to be with you, we are together, we're not sharing our body parts with other people, then that's what the hell I expect. And nothing less than that. And if you're not able to do that, do not enter into that verbal contract with me.
Exactly.
That's fair. And like, okay, so for me now, because me and Vonda are slightly different. So, you know, for example, in that 6 to 12 months, which again, no actual number on the time that I will not sleep with you until we've gotten to a level in our relationship where, you know, we're willing to actually commit to each other, and we're actually seeing ourselves being together, you know, forever, and we're going to go get tested and do the whole nine, and we're saying I love yous and all that. I'm not sleeping with you. I legitimately do not care how many people you sleep with during that time, but I do care that you're honest with me. And actually, this is something that overall throughout the course of all my relationships is my bigger issue. My issue is actually honesty. I prefer honesty and openness over fidelity. So that is to say, am I the type of person who wants to be in a forever relationship with someone who's going to consistently be sleeping with other people? No. Right? That's a little too much for me. Being in a full out open relationship, that's a little too much for me. Being in a full out, polyamorous type of relationship where you have many girlfriends doesn't work for me. But I do understand people that shit happens. I honestly do kind of understand the generalized concept, and I'm okay with it if you are honest with me. And if, you know what, you slip here or there and you're honest with me about it and whatever, we're all right. If it's becoming a very regularized thing, you know, then at that point we really need to sit down and figure out, okay, what's missing in our relationship, what's missing in this, that you need to constantly be out there looking for it elsewhere, because now clearly you're looking for it. This was not something that just was there and you said, you know what, I feel like taking the bait today because I'm really drunk and stupid. So sure, why not? That's very different than when you're out there consistently looking for it. And so at that point, then I feel like, okay, this is a more of a deeper discussion. But the actual fidelity issue does not faze me overall, it's lying that phases me. And I don't really I don't care at all what you're lying about. I don't. You can lie to me about the smallest things. You can ask Mr. Ruby. You can lie to me about the smallest things. I will flip my lid. I cannot let it go at all. You're lying about the smallest thing. I will not let it go. I can't stand being lied to. That's the thing I can't stand, is being lied to. If you tell me the truth about anything, I'm fine. I don't really care. You lied to me about something, it now becomes a federal case, right?
I think with Ruby, I think what it is really, it's okay, one, you're going to insult my intelligence by lying. Two, you don't trust me enough just to tell me the truth, and I'm not acting logical enough. Can we not have a discussion about it? Yes, you're going to feel like a dumbass by the time I'm finished talking to you, right? Yes, you're going to feel this way. But if you decide that you're going to get your homeboy and have a help me Kevin Hart nigga moment, it's not going to work out well for you. Right? It's not, right?
Because no, you know what it is, actually? I can tell you what it is. I know, you know, therapy and everything. So the issue is this, right? For people who don't know, you're about to find out some stuff about me. But when I was a daddy's girl my whole life, okay? My whole life. I idol worshipped my dad, who literally wouldn't, I was, raised 50-50 by my parents, but I didn't get that, I didn't get to be a daddy's girl. So, I worshiped my dad, who didn't give me the, oh, you're my little princess love and affection and whatever. So I was constantly trying to get his approval and his this and he's that. And I never got to get it, because before I could get my daddy's approval, my daddy decided to tell me that he's transitioning to become a woman at 12, 13, which disrupted a lot of things in my life. But I think that was it really tripped me out. At one point when I was 14, I had a boyfriend, and I don't know why he let me do this. I'm almost kind of thankful he did in a way, but it's crazy. But I was just one day I almost lost my mind. It's I was having a breakdown, and I demanded he let me put makeup on him, so that way I would be able to visualize him, because I loved him, if he decided tomorrow he needed to become a woman. I was really just not okay. And so I think when I got through all of that and worked through all of that, it came down to that was my biggest problem. It was this deception. I had built this entire life on a lie, and then you rip it away from me. And so I can't tolerate the idea of that. So I've become very, very sensitive to being lied to. I don't really care what the truth is, as long as I know what it is. Because if I had been prepared for 12 years that there would not be a man walking me down the aisle, and my children would not have a grandma and a grandpa, you know what I mean? If I had been prepared all 12 years of my life, the world might not have known it, but I knew it. I would have been way better off, because I would have just known what was coming. So that's really what it is for me. That's why I can't tolerate lying. But I don't really care about fidelity, because fidelity is not what tore me or my family or anything in my family on any sides apart, but lying has.
Well, you know what? I don't like a liar either. But I have a big problem with infidelity. If there's supposed to be fidelity, don't think just because you're telling me about your infidelity that I'm like, oh, okay, good. Thank God. I'm glad you told me. Hell no. I'm still gonna be pissed about that, because it's because we said this is an agreement that we made that we would not do this, and then you go and do it, but because you're telling me, I'm just gonna be like, thank God. I'm glad you told me. No. You went back on your word. You didn't do what you went against the agreement. We had an agreement and you went against the agreement, and I'm going to have a big problem with that, because if I broke the agreement, would you not have a problem with that? Are you going to be like, oh God, thank you, Vonda. I'm glad you told me. And I'd rather know than not know. Now, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I would say this, and this is just this is just this is just me, right? When you notice the double standard, right? And when I mean the double standard, this is double standard, right? When a man comes home, right, and he finds his woman cheating on him, right? You know what I'm saying? and he kills her, right? Like just say, not say kills her or hurts her or whatever, right? And he goes to court or whatever, and they kind of let it slide, right? But when a female does it to a man, everybody's looking at this crazy broad, right? You know what I'm saying? That double standard is because of this one thing, right? And the one thing is this is like it's like this universally known thing that men will always be looking, right? But it's this thing that we put out there in society and civilization that a woman's not supposed to be looking. Once you dare, you dare. You ain't supposed to be doing anything else. And the worst thing that you could ever do to a man is to get caught in the household, getting smashed down after he come home from work, right? And if he go get the gun, well, that was you playing with your life because it wasn't. You know, we have this thing in our head, and when a guy, you know, catches his girl cheating or whatever, we can say however way we want to say it. The thing is you have to dial it back. And the reason why I say this on from a man's perspective is because a lot of men need to understand something, and they need to understand something completely and totally utterly. If she's your girlfriend and she goes and finds another dude, that ain't your girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying this for men, right? Because a lot of men, what we do with women is they become possessions, right? Even if y'all having sex or whatever, even if y'all living together, until you go down the aisle and get married to this woman, y'all gonna have children in the whole nine. You have not fully committed on that aspect of that. You haven't. You've did all the other stuff. Okay, you can provide a home, you can have kids and procreate and cohabitate. So you might as well just do the next thing, the last part of the puzzle, of the piece, and that's when you get into it. If she's cheating on you, and most women, not all, most women move on because of emotion. They you're not paying the emotional tax. You're not paying the emotional gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to get into the sensitivity of the mind and the emotion. You need to talk to her. You need to give her her proper attention. Just because you keep the lights on in the water, that's what you're supposed to do. You don't get a party for stuff that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to work. You're supposed to keep a job. You're supposed to pay your bills on time. That's what you're supposed to do,
Right.
right? You don't get a hand clap. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get none of that,
For
right?
being a responsible adult, right?
Yes, that's what you're supposed to do. If she wasn't here, what you wasn't going to do it, you just going to be a bum. The sole reason on why you're doing this is because
Mm-hmm.
of her and her alone. Once a
Right.
woman finds that out, you ain't worth nothing. What I need you for, what she really wants is if I was here or not, this man would be doing him and on his grind and whatever. The reason why I am here is because he wants me here. If
Mm-hmm.
I act up, I will be gone in a New York minute. Gone like that, and he will go on with his life. So I need to act right. People don't understand. That in itself will keep a woman. That right there, I will still do me, whether you are here or not. You make it more tolerable, you make it better. And then by letting you know that I like you here, I will do little extra stuff. Like let you eat off my plate. Like, hey, babe, pick up my phone and answer that for me. Who is that? Oh, it's such and such. He said he's gonna be downstairs at 8, or can you go to the whatever? Like letting a woman know who your best or your closest friends are. Sitting up there listening to her and said, you know what, I saw your homeboy, he don't look too good. What you mean? Yay, y'all, I wasn't trying to get in your business or overhear you talking, but I just happened to pass by and he sounded a little down. You know what I didn't know? Let me talk to him. Right? That little thing. Hey, babe, what's going on? Man, such and such, whatever. Well, that's your own girl, but I told you something ain't right about her.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's when you get close. In that, if you don't have that with your significant other, where y'all, people keep forgetting this: boyfriend, girlfriend.
Keyword friend.
Mm-hmm.
Friend. That's my girl friend. That's my boy friend. Because guess what? Gravity and Father Time is undefeated. When stuff start hitting the flow and getting wrinkled, ain't nobody worrying about no dried up powdered cool, and ain't nobody worrying about some D that ain't getting up on you, right? Y'all gotta still like each other. Y'all still gotta be in each other's presence and just want to sit there and just like to be in each other's presence. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just, hey man, what you like? Yeah, I like this right here. Like just to sit there and be silent and like being silent in each other's presence, doing your own thing, but just in the same room with each other. The silence alone, you ain't got to do all this extra. Because when stuff get hard, when life starts beating you down, right? That's all you got is you is each other. You ain't got the car, you ain't got the phone, you ain't got nothing. Matter of fact, hey, this roller keep going on. Everybody gonna be sharing the phone. We're gonna be back to house phones again.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
You know what this reminds me of? So, because I mean, here you have a fair amount of people who are from cultures that arranged marriage still exists, or at least existed in the previous generation. And I remember a couple of them were talking, right? And they were talking about the fact that that speech in the wedding planner is so true, because in basically in arranged marriages, you have people who literally they just function as their role in that relationship, but they don't have a relationship. And then you have these great loves that are so incredible. And if you come from one of the ones that are the great loves that are so incredible, you want an arranged marriage because you want to end up like your parents did. And so you think somehow or another that arranged marriage created that in some magical way. The people who are choosing for you just choose so well that you just fall so madly and deeply in love with these people. And then the wedding planner's speech. I'm talking about, okay, so Jennifer Lopez, basically, that's not her name in the movie. I don't remember what it was. But basically she plans other people's weddings, and, you know, she's never really been in love and whatever. And she's been holding out for a great magical love, like her parents had, right? And her dad keeps trying to set her up with someone. And she keeps rejecting it. And, you know, she finally tells him, like, no, I want what you and mama had, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, your mom and I were arranged. And, you know, and she's like, what? He's like, yeah, we hated each other at the beginning. Could not. I was in love with some other girl. She was in love with some other guy. Like, we hated this at first. But, you know, we got married and we lived grudgingly with each other at first. And, you know, I was a man. I did my job. She was a woman. She did her job. But we didn't like each other. And then one day I got really, really, really sick. He was so sick, and she nursed him back to health, and that made him respect her, you know. And as he was getting better, now they started actually talking to each other and not speaking to each other. That, you know, that vibe you're talking about, where you just ask about, you know, and you learn about each other, and you're really growing with each other in that way. That made him like her, and that like turned into love, and that love that they kept fueling turned into this magical love over 40 years that, you know, J-Lo is now, you know, so envious of. So, you know, people think that you either just have that magical love or you don't. They don't realize that, like, you know, if you had it at the beginning, you actually built it and fueled it in a way you didn't realize. It was automatic, it was easy, it was fun. And then, you know, maybe you've lost it over time, you know, and that could be for a variety of reasons that have nothing to do with the actual relationship. It's just because of all those reasons, you forgot to continue fueling your love. And a big part of that is the friendship, because it's the one thing that can get lost, right? You being a man and doing what you need to do, her being a woman doing what she needs to do, y'all making sure your kids don't die and they get whatever they need. Those things are dysentery, exactly, right? Those things are automatic. You do those things anyway, right? So what's the one thing that you can let slip when you're trying to make sure you're keeping your connections to your outside friends together, and, you know, checking on your families and blah 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 blah? The one thing that you can let slip is the friendship between the two of you, right? You might even still have sex and forget that, oh yeah, I used to like you once. Why was that again? Hey, maybe we should talk sometimes and enjoy each other.
This is like one of the few times I agree with you, Ruby. Because we do think so differently. We do. Me and Ruby think so differently. And I just feel like, girl, where'd you get that? But, you know, I totally respect your mind, Ruby, and the way that you think. And to me, I like the way you think, because it's just so different from me. But so I listen. I listen to what you say. So you are correct. I really do feel that you are correct, because when we meet someone, you know, for the most part, we do meet, you know, with a certain amount of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, ooh, I like the way he looks. Ooh, I like her body. I like the way she looks, you know, and then it makes you want to say, okay, what's further? Is there
Right.
anything further? Of course, maybe the guy might not be thinking, you know, what's further. He just might, what's underneath, you know, her pants, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you want to get to know more. And so when you guys become friends and you have this respectful exchange, and let me tell you, respect.
Mm-hmm.
Respect is a big part of a relationship. Respect is a big part of a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And when you no longer have that friendship, and you know, when you have friends, you enjoy being around your friends. You know,
Yeah.
you enjoy. And if your partner is your friend, that's going to be the first person you're going to go to, like, hey, this is what happened. Or, hey, I was thinking this. Because that friend who is your partner is going to be like, oh, okay, I think that's cool. Or, oh, you know what? I think maybe, you know, that might not be such a good idea. And you guys can talk it out. You respect what that person has to say. You respect the words that come out of their mouth, you know, and that's where you start to build this love. When you no longer are friends with your partner, when you no longer spend time with your partner, that's when you do grow apart. And that's when, you know, if you've not already latched on to other friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of my relationships started as friendships, you know, and once you get past the friendship, you know, get past that, then, you know, you see the other things that would probably have turned you off had you saw them the first day. You know,
Right.
like, you know, your friend, you know, you're not going to stop being friends with them because they farted, you know. But if they farted the first day you saw them, you'd be like, oh, this old nasty mother. You just going to be like, oh, this is crazy. But after some time, you know, that's not going to be such a big deal. A fart is not going to be a deal breaker later on with a friend. But it might be a deal breaker on the first day. You're gonna be like, wait a minute, you know, this is a no-go. But you let those things go, you know, and then when you start cohabitating, sleeping with someone, living with somebody, and you wake up, you got the funky breath, the underarms are just screaming, you know, it's not a bad thing, because hey, this is my friend, you know, I know she cleans up well, I know he cleaned up good, you know. You know, we wash our ass every day, and you kind of get past that, you know. So you and this is just being real.
It's true though. Yeah.
You have to be friends. You have to be friends, and you have to genuinely like that person.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, can
You
I
know
drag
what?
us back to the asshole corner?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I would love to hear. I was wondering when Asshole Corner would come back. All right.
All right.
Cover my ears. I'm getting prepared.
All right. So, any woman that thinks she's going to tell me some cockamamie bullshit story, right? And as an explanation for why she didn't do something, knowing that I'm smart enough to see through the bullshit, doesn't really respect me as a friend or anything else. Period. So if she doesn't respect me, there's no reason for this relationship to continue.
That's true. I agree with that.
All right.
And you know what? And a woman that, you know, that loves and cares for you and is your friend, she wouldn't even try it.
Nope.
Yeah, I gotta play
She would
devil's
know
advocate
better.
though. No, I gotta
She
play
would
devil's
know better.
advocate though. I gotta play devil's
Exactly.
advocate, and the reason why I will is because of fear, right? Humans are relatively stupid. Let's be real, right? Like, I mean, even the smartest humans are still stupid in some ways. And so it comes down to that fear is the best motivator, and it's the kind of motivator that clouds all else, including normally good judgment. And so the problem is that when people are fearful of your reaction, they're fearful of, you know, what you might say or do. They're fearful of maybe even where you guys stand right now. When they're fearful, they often make very bad decisions based on, you know, kind of faulty logic, because fear is driving them. And so this is why I do think that the come to Jesus moment is important, because just assuming, right? Just assuming, well, you're a liar and that's it. Or the second you hear the words, yes, I lied. Okay, I'm out. and not hearing it out to see why might be a mistake, because you don't know what they lied about. You don't know why they lied. And you don't know, kind of like where we're like, I mean, again, it depends on how long you've been together. It does, right? Because 3 months, 6 months is not really anything is established. Like, to me, yeah, fine. If it's 3 to 6 months and they're already giving you multiple reasons to distrust them, and the lie is they actually betrayed you, right? So they're lying about something, and that lie is that they betrayed you in some way, absolutely. But if the lie was simply to protect their own privacy, since we're talking about, we talked about this earlier. So you can't have someone's phone passwords because that's their privacy. Your deep, dark family skeletons, that's even more private, I would think, right? So if that's what you're lying about, I mean, you could dismiss that entirely and not put yourself in their shoes and understand why maybe you wouldn't want to tell that to a new relationship.
I don't want to talk about it is a possible statement that could be used that doesn't include a lie. Try again.
Yeah, no, see, this is the problem, though, because saying I don't want to talk about it is just as bad as the lie. No one takes I don't want to talk about it easily. No one takes, you know what, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to answer that question as, that's fine then. Well, I'm sure everything's fine in that case. So it's actually creating the exact same problem. It's just about how you're creating the problem.
Well, see, when it comes to me, it doesn't create that problem. I don't want to talk about it. I can't force you to talk about it. Okay, we're good.
Well, yeah, you can't force someone to talk about it, but their lying is telling you still can't force them to talk about it. Like, it's
still, you lying is also disrespecting me.
But but by them not telling you, right? I mean, especially if you're talking about a woman now, right? By you not sharing something with me, by you not trusting me with what's really going on, women will take that as a sign of disrespect too. So, I mean, it depends on the person, right? I mean, you don't know that person. You don't know what they'll take as respect or disrespect or not. Ultimately, it comes down to, it depends on what they're not telling you and whether or not that should supersede your feelings. That's what I think personally.
It depends on what it is. But, I do agree with Chandra that even if it's something that's personal, a deep family, skeleton that, hey, you know what, I'm not ready to share this with you because this is I'm just not going to share this with anybody. Then that person needs to realize, that, hey, everything is not for everybody. My thing is that even you can be with somebody for 50 years and they still not know everything about you. Now they're going to know the general gist, the things that have gone on, but there are some things that we keep to ourselves, and I am one of those people, and I'm not saying I have secrets, but I'm not going to tell everything from A to Z, just every little thing. My thing is that there are going to be certain things you're going to find out as time evolves. There's an onion that you're peeling, but you're not going to find out, after we've been together for 5 years that, oh, I had this secret baby and, now he's Barack Obama or something like that. It's not going to be anything like that. It won't be anything dramatic, but there are certain things like, hey, I'll tell you what happened to me when I was 5 years old. You're not going to find that out in the first year. You're not going to find that out in the first date, but maybe something later on as our friendship, relationship builds, you will find out these things. But there are certain things that, we keep to ourselves, and you have to have that. And the person that you're with, they have to respect those boundaries. And just because I don't choose to tell you what happened to me when I was 5 years old, and that's just an example, when I was 5 years old does not mean that I'm cheating on you.
But see, that's the whole point, right? And this is the catch. I've been in this catch-22. So this is a catch-22 you get into with people, right? It's because when I'm going to electively tell you it's none of your business what I'm doing, that could easily be someone else's dick was up in me, and you know what? I don't think that's any of your business. Or it could be, you know what? I'm going through some post-traumatic stress disorder related things, and I don't want to tell you about me drinking and sobbing and having a flashback or something, right? So in my case, that's exactly what was happening. I was going through PTSD, and I didn't really understand entirely what it was. And at the time, I was lying to everyone about what I was going through PTSD about. No one knew kind of what had happened to me. And so for me, it was way more important to protect that. Why was it more important? Because actually, to me, it brought on a lot of shame and like almost like it was almost like the equivalent of saying I was weak and I was garbage and I was throwaway useless. And I'm not going to sit there and tell you anything even 5 degrees of separation away from that. I would honestly, at that point, I would have rather you think the worst about me than think the truth. Right? Which is, you know, something terrible happened to me. I have not dealt with it at all, let alone well. And no one knows about it because it's like a dark secret to me because, you know, blame myself and blah, blah, blah. I wasn't trying to tell anyone that. In fact, I wasn't trying to tell anyone anything that would make them think that in any way. I would have rather you think the worst things about me. So, you know, there's a good chance that on more than one occasion, I wouldn't have told you it's none of your business, because to me, that would have put me in this exact same conundrum. You know, me sitting there and just being cagey about it or not really answering, put me in the same conundrum. The best chance I had at not having to deal with it right now was to become a very effective liar. So that way, if I could tell you something that you would buy and would make you go away and leave me alone about it, then we didn't have to deal with it right now. And that was the only chance I honestly had at this not being something like you need to put it on the table, otherwise I'm leaving anyway. That's what it always seemed like.
Here's the interesting thing, right? If you're in that state, you're also not ready for a relationship then anyway, and you shouldn't be in one.
Oh, no, probably not. But I mean, again, what did I say at the beginning? Humans are stupid. I already said that. I started there.
And this is, there's a way, like, there's a way, like, a person can, you know, in a way where, you know, in humans being stupid, but just get a generalized thing. If the guy in question was calling to check on the well-being of his girlfriend, was he checking on the well-being of his girlfriend and then that was the red flag and he thought she was cheating, or he already suspected it through different scenarios and that was just really, really pushed the button, right? Was he concerned about her welfare, right? And then she made up some story and it didn't check out right, and the only thing he can come up with is, okay, she's been acting funny a little bit, but I just let it go. But this is too much, right? Or he's already had evidence, because if he's talking about checking phones and she didn't she didn't call him, and then he already has some suspicion or some reports that are her messing with some other people or cheating or giving or you know, basically ghosting him, right? Like, basically he's not at the priority. And she, like, so if we say we take Ruby's thing with the benefit of the doubt, right? And she could be going through something personal. The best way to go about doing it and saying, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't call you back last night. I was going through some personal issues that I need to handle right now. And I think we need a little time. I need some time to myself. That right there, right? Like that right there, like, you know, whether she was cheating or not, lying or anything, anyone logically that's worried about someone's personal safety and then thought about they might be cheating, if you would have told a person that, they would understand. If a person's already suspecting you of cheating and then you don't call them that night when you get home and you don't answer, and how many times did he call? Did he call once? Did he call twice? Did he call 3 times? Did he call every time on the time of the hour on top of the hour? Did he call her, then her friend Susan, and then ask Susan, did you see her? And then call Jane and ask Jane, and then call the mom, the uncle, the sister, the brother, everybody in the whole.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What it was is she went for a period of time where he had no idea what was going on with her and where she was because she didn't answer her phone. Now, I mean, there is such a thing as, you know, I was so tired. I came home. I just laid down on the bed, and before you know it, I woke up. It was 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing does happen. So like you're saying, I do agree with you. It does depend on what led him to this suspicion, or was it because he called her and she didn't answer her phone and he called her 20 times. If she was passed out asleep, didn't matter how many times he called her, and whoever else he called, it matters not a bit, because the reason why she didn't answer could be just as innocent.
But you
Yeah,
know
she
what
could have
though?
been
I
dead
think he
too.
said,
Phone could
didn't
have
he
been
say
dead.
her story was long? So like, I mean, because I
Yeah.
feel like I fell asleep. It's really short. I'm sorry, I was sleeping, babe.
Yeah.
I had a long day. I fell asleep as soon as I got home. Seems like a relatively short and reasonable answer. He said her answer was long and unreasonable.
No,
So
no,
maybe it wasn't like a late night call. Maybe it was a call like Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. And because they had a date, and then she didn't answer all damn day, and then she calls back on Sunday with some cockamamie story about why she didn't have cell phone access for 24 hours. I mean, that's a little bit different, I
yeah.
think. You know what I mean?
No, no, no. The thing is what was the deep? Now, here's the thing, right? Because when someone does something to you, right, and in the history of Char having these advice, these letters, the person
Mhm.
always goes into some type of detail about the thing in question of the advice they need. That's the red flag to
Mhm.
justify them going against their gut feeling or going with their gut feeling, right? The
Mm.
fact of the matter that he said she had this long story and he did not go into any detail about said long story means that he wasn't listening because he already know or think that she's cheating and he wants Char to talk him out of
She not cheating on you.
it. Just, you know what I mean? Like, because he didn't give, like, you know, the only thing we got is I called her this time and she didn't answer. She called me back the next day
Mhm.
and she had this long explanation and it wasn't reasonable. Well, usually if you can't recite the long explanation, you weren't listening.
You
And
know
the
what though? I think you're right, but I think your
Mm.
reason is wrong. I think
Mhm.
that what he wanted, I think he didn't tell us a couple things. So first, he didn't tell us that he went off, lost his ever-loving mind on her, acted like
Yeah,
a complete crazy person, right? And so now what he wants is for Shar and us to tell him he was reacting reasonably, because of course she was cheating. Anyone would think that, given
mhm.
the circumstances he told us. That's what I think. That's what I think it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, listen, and you know what she probably did? The woman probably wasn't cheating, but she was tired of him, right?
Mm,
Especially if he's
I
paranoid.
swear,
If he's a
it's
paranoid
bouncing in my
dude,
head.
and he
Yes.
always calls her, and in the one time she doesn't answer the phone, he goes, bonkers about it. She's like, oh my God, you know what? I'm just not gonna answer. I don't care what he think. I'm just not gonna answer. I'm not
Mhm.
answering this because give me a break. Give me
And,
a break.
and look, and this is probably what happened. The only reason why she called him the next day, right, was, girl, you need to call him. I'm tired of him calling me, asking where you at, girl. Girl, you need to call him. I'm tired of
Mm-hmm.
this.
Did you
Girl,
call
call.
Vernon? Call Vernon and tell him what's going on.
Vernon.
because guess what? Because guess what? You causing problems in my home. Because if he keep calling here looking for you, then my man looking at me like, what you doing?
Exactly. If you hanging out with her and he thinks she running around, you running around too?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, we ain't having this. No, no, no. You need to call him.
Girl, you
That
better
get,
call Vernon. I ain't got time for this.
you
Now,
know,
can we talk about the bugaboo for a second? Because I'll tell you something. That whole thing would not work for me, because as it is very hard to get a hold of Ruby. Okay. And I don't even pretend to make excuses. Like, I'll be like, oh, I know you called and texted. I just didn't feel like answering my phone. So I answered it next Tuesday. And I do that to friends. I do that to family. Like, I get into I'm an antisocial person. I'm an antisocial socialite, I guess you could say. When I'm socializing with people, I am the most outgoing social person. You'd swear to God, I must love people, right? And then I hang up from this, and then I can't talk to people for like the next 14 hours because I'm tired of talking. Like, I need to recoup, and I get very antisocial. I really do. So, like, if you're this kind of person, right, you have to realize not everybody wants to always be talking to people. And we know, though, that most humans don't mind social contact even daily. They don't mind checking in for 10 minutes or whatever, but some of us do. Some of us don't want to check in every day. Some of us live with humans we don't want to check in with every day. Like, I can't always be bothered to talk to you. Sometimes I just want to, like, you can sit here and pretend that I'm not here, and I can pretend you're not here. That's cool. But like, yo, I need today to pretend I live in a bubble on Mars. You know what I mean? Like, some of us are antisocial. You need to realize, like, especially with women, there's the stereotype, women are so social and so emotional and so whatever that we need people constantly. But some of us are not like that. And so since we don't have details, let's read in to the story on the other side now that you're the kind of person where you want to constantly talk to her. You want to talk to her every day. You want to check in with her every day. And now, because sometimes she just doesn't answer because she just didn't feel like it. And she understands, she's tried, I didn't feel like it a couple times with you. And that made such a problem that now she's trying to give you a reason. So that way you don't make a big issue about the fact that sometimes she just needs her alone time. Okay. I'll tell you something. If that's what it is, this is not going to last unless you figure out how to be secure within yourself, period. Because
give her space. Now, we don't know if the dude calls her all the time or what, but sometimes you do need your space. And then it also depends on the exchange that they have when he calls her. If he is one of those dudes that call her and it's always a heavy conversation, she might be on heavy conversation overload and can deal with it. I have a friend that, every piece of bad news that has ever come about in the world, in our group of friends, in our, city, I have gotten it from her. And so I went through a period of time where when she would call, she'd be like, girl, I need to tell you something. I'd be like, oh my God. I'm like, what is she going to tell me? I would create these dramas in my head of what she was going to tell me. And guess what? I wouldn't call her back. She's like, call me, girl. I need you to call me. Guess what Vonda would do? I'm not calling her. I'm like, you know what? Today is not a good day for me to hear no bad news. I don't want to hear it. So a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And she's like, girl, I thought I told you to call me. You ain't called me yet. Until one day I just told her, I said, I just, you know what? I didn't want to hear what you had to say because I thought it was going to be bad news. And for me, sometimes, too much bad news can be an overload for me personally as a person. I am a person that really picks up on other people's energy. So when I deal with people selectively, and I only deal with a certain amount of people a certain amount of time, because if I'm dealing with too much negativity, it actually brings me down as a whole. And I don't realize that that's what it is until I'm down on the bottom. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me? And then I have to retreat. And I'm like, okay, I need to break off all this bad juice and get it together. And I tell her, I'm like, girl, I thought you were about to tell me something. She said it wasn't even no damn bad news. I just had to tell you that this and that. And I was like, oh, and we would sit there and we'll have laughs about it. But she is one of those people. I'm telling you, everybody that has died, everybody who was murdered, everybody who was sick, everybody who is about to die, she's giving me that information. So my brain just clicked on the minute she said, girl, you need to call. I got some stuff to tell you. And I'm like, oh my God. What did you tell me? I'm like, no, I can't hear it today. I said, I don't want to hear no bad news today. And then 2 months to go by, she'd be like, girl, we got to catch up. And I'll be like, oh, I don't know if I want to. I don't have the energy to catch up because it's too much. It is too much. Yes,
girl. I feel that.
I had her laugh, and we just laughed about that for a good 15, 20 minutes. But I was just like, that's just me as a person. I just tend to take on people's stuff. And for me, sometimes I just have to shake it off and, lighten my load, because I just be feeling like, oh my God, I can't take it. I need to see sunshine and happiness. And I know I'm a grown woman. I know that life is not always about sunshine and happiness, but I'd be damned if my life is going to be about doomsday and,
Yeah, no, I get that, because I'm similar, only I'm the opposite. So the people because honestly, a lot of people only call me when there's a problem. Like I'm problem fixer, problem dealer, kind of Ruby, right? Like I am the person, especially before the back thing about 3 years ago, even though my health was iffy, like I will put myself into like severe health issues to go help someone. People just know I'm like that. So whenever there's any kind of issue, people call me. And that still persists, even though it's kind of been 3 years that I haven't been able to drive myself. So they'll call me at least when they need someone to speak about things or to, help them work through problems or whatever. So there are certain people that I know might call me because they want to check in. Mama Ruby is one of them, which is why Mama Ruby doesn't get the phone call answered, because I know she just wants to touch base, and I don't do small talk. It doesn't work for me. I actually do better when you want to talk about something. So I'm more likely to answer people who call me, and I know you only call me when there's a problem, because I can talk about problems. I can talk about subjects forever. It's fine. So if I answer the phone now and you're one of those people and I'm like, hey, what's up? That's what I'll do. Like, hey, what's up? Oh, not much. How you doing? I'm fine. What's up? Like, that's what I'll do, because you're calling for something, right? And then if they utter those dreaded words, oh, not much, I'm just checking in, I want to run. Like, I literally want to run.
Okay,
like, I'm so upset. I answered the phone at this point, right? Like, I am that person. I check I look at every text message comes into my phone. I read it. If it says anything other than a problem that you have that you need me to immediately address, I put my phone back down. Like, that can wait until I'm feeling social, and that's not most days, right? So I guess we're slightly different, where you'll be like, oh, I don't want to answer because you always have a problem. Me, I'm like, oh, I don't want to answer because you always want to just talk. You don't have anything to say. So now I have to reach for conversation about the weather or what's going on with that COVID, right? Like, don't call me then. I don't know, like,
you know what? I would say this, right? And because I know both of y'all and things of that, right? And I will say this: if you call me and we're talking, like I'll talk with anybody, we'll clown and chop it up about any merit of conversation, right? But if you call me with a problem and there's no solutions, I will give you 2 venting conversations about your problem. Because the first thing I'm gonna ask you when you come in and you got the problem, and if we're talking and I go to interject and you continue on, then I'll let you continue, then I'll stop you. Are you calling for advice or you're calling to vent? I'm here to vent. Oh, okay, so I need to go put my fuck 'em 2 girl dress on with you. Okay,
Yep.
So if you're gonna kick the can, I'm gonna kick it down the street with you. We're gonna kick the can together, right?
Pick the right hat. Right hat.
Get the hell out of this can, right?
The right hat for the right conversation.
Okay, cool. So I'm prepared for the conversation. But if you come in and ask for some type of advice, right? And if you come back and you ask for advice again, I'm going to ask you, so did you do X, Y, and Z? Well, no. Why didn't you? Well, because of this. Okay. So you can take what I said here and do that now. We don't need to talk. Oh, no. I want to hear what you got to say, because since I didn't listen to you then, things have changed and you were right. So we're going to do this. Okay, cool. This is this. Since you didn't listen here you go. And because I know you weren't going to listen. I just had to tell you because you're stupid, because you ain't going to listen. So here's the backup plan to your foolishness. But if you come back after the second time, I'm busy. I can be sitting there looking at nothing. It can just be me and the bare wall. Wall, how are you doing? Nothing. Because that's how this person is. They don't listen because the walls won't listen. Just like you ain't listening. So I'm not talking to you. Go wallow in your self-pity.
I agree with that.
For this stuff, right?
No.
People, and you can't, people, like they say, energy is never created nor destroyed, but it's transferred.
Right. Right, Trey.
My friends know, right? They know me. They know, and I do this too. I'm going to say if I have a problem, but if we talking about the problem and the solution, by the end of the conversation, whether I decide to take your advice or not, I'm going to end the conversation with something fun. We're going to end the conversation with something fun because I know, as a person that gives advice, that has the ain't shitness crystal ball, right? I like to unplug it from time to time. It may not seem like it, but it does be unplugged and sits in the corner, right? And I don't like to put that burden on other people. Hey, let's have a conversation. My friend, they'll say, man, I got a problem. He said, man, I got to talk to you. Oh, all right, what's going on? All right, man, we're going to start with the dumb shit. We're going to go to some medium shit, and we're going to finish with some good shit. All right, cool. Let's do it, right? Because you got to do that to people, right? And, you know, or, hey, man, I got some stupid shit happening, man. I got some dumb shit that happened to me, too. Oh, word? Oh, well, since I went first last time, you go ahead. All right, I say my thing, you say your thing, then we say this thing. Then what are we going to do to fix this? Man, I think you should do this. Well, I think you should do that. All right, cool. Back forward. Man, so what's good on it? Man, nothing much, bro. But then, hey, bro, you was right. I did X, Y, and Z. Oh, I'm glad that happened. See, the thing that I don't like is when you give somebody advice and they may take it or not, but they don't give you an update. They want you to chase them down with the update. Yo, is you good? Yeah, man, I'm good now. Well, why you say something? Man, you know. Okay, I got you. You know the next time you call me, I'm gonna be unavailable. since you're gonna leave this big pile of all shit right here on my heart and laying on me, and I'm gonna be here thinking about you, and you ain't had a common decency to come and pick this bullshit up and throw it in the trash after you done laid it at my doorstep. Not again. Not happening. And that's probably what happened. She probably needed a break from the dude. She tired, boss. He up here calling her every day. What you doing? Where you at? Put the phone in the air so I can hear the niggas breathing. What niggas? What you talking about?
Lord.
Like, what you doing?
Put on the camera phone. Like, oh Lord.
Cam up, baby.
That's too much.
Cam, you know what? And what I really want to know is, how good does she look? Like, is he like a 5.5 and she like an 8? Like, is he messing with someone? Is he in a relationship with someone that's way above him in physical pay grade? Right? See, that's another thing, right? Because he doesn't sound confident.
Yeah, like, you know what? And that's very true. I mean, because if, you know, like you were saying earlier, Dre, and this is where I agree with you, the very slim times that I agree with you. You know, because you be bad acting, but anyway. You know, when you were saying that if, you know, he lets her know that, you know, he's Gucci without her. You know, yeah, he's going to be here for the long haul. He's going to take care of her. He's going to do the things that he needs to do as a man for this household, for this relationship. But if she want to act up, deuces, you know. And when a woman knows that, I'm going to tell you, that will make her stand at attention. You know, and that's where the difference comes between a man, you know, being a man and just worshiping a woman. You know, and I'm not saying, you know, that women should not be loved and cared for. They should definitely be loved and cared for. But there is a fine line to where you are worshiping her to where she's going to walk all over you, you know, i.e. simp. You know, we hear that a lot on, you know, YouTube versus, you know, hey, you know, I love you, girl. You know, I'm going to take care of business, and me taking care of business is a part of me showing you love. But of course, there are going to have to be those little extra things he's going to have to do that are personal to her.
Now,
okay,
you about to fight with me, Ruby? Are you?
I gotta address this because for some reason or another, me and Vonda just can't be on the same side about anything.
Lord, what have I done? Have I not raised you right, Ruby? Have I not raised you right?
Right? Okay, so here's my thing. I would be real. A little bit of idol worship is necessary in my relationships. I'm going to be real. It's true. Yeah. No, I'm being serious.
Where are my pearls?
I need a little bit. I need a little bit of idol worship. I'm gonna be real. Listen, I don't want to be with a man who does not see me as the cream of the crop. I need to know that he sees me the way I see me, right? Like, what did I tell y'all before? I measure beauty. My beauty standard is me. So I measure everyone else's beauty according to how close to me do they look. I know it sounds so vain, and I am so vain. I'm so vain. I'm really real. So I need to know that he sees me the same way I see me, right? So I do need a little bit of idol worship. Now, that being said, to me, I also, you know, a man being like a doormat is weird. I don't think that's idol worship. I think it's a little bit different. You know, it just like a man I'm not going to stand at attention for a man being a man. Like, that's just the only kind of man that I date, right? So if you're not a man and you're not leading somewhere already, if you're not already heading somewhere, we can't be in a relationship, because I am more of a traditionalist that way. And so I like to submit to my man, and you can't submit to a direction that he's not going. So therefore, it's that my internal woman is not being sparked by that. Now, with that being said, though, right, Lord. And this is the part that I agreed with DeAndre on, is he said, as far as, you know, I need to know that you want me here. You want me here. Me personally, me here. I am the cream of the crop to you. You want me in your house, by your side, in your life. You feel that I enrich you and that I inspire you for you to do what you're doing even better and even faster than you were doing it before. As in, I am an enhancement on your life. I need to feel that that's what I am in your life. If I don't feel that way in my relationship, I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to feel that I'm a hindrance to him, that I'm slowing him down, that I'm holding him back. You know what I mean? I want to feel that I am enhancing him. And that, by definition, is also going to make me feel like he's enhancing me, right? Well, so I'm going to work harder, and I'm going to be better, and I'm going to be inspired to do more and to be more, right? Because I feel like he's raising his bar, and I got to raise my bar to be good enough for him. So to me, it's kind of like it's a revolving door for me, right? But it does start there. I got to think that he's, you know, the bee's knees, and he's got to think I'm the bee's knees. That's just very important to me, because hey, if you don't think I'm the shit, then like, why are we together? When you think that you can do better than me.
I agree with that too.
The asshole corner says, "Thou shalt have no false gods before me." Okay.
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna say this.
I don't need someone who worships God. I just need someone who has a little worship for me. That's all.
Listen, I'm gonna say this.
Be real.
This is what Ruby is saying. You better tell the truth, and if you're gonna cheat, you better tell me. But don't bring this chick in here that you cheated on me with, looking worse than me. When you bring her here and I see the chick that you cheated on me with, even in your drunk
Beyonce,
right? You gotta look in such a way where it's, hey, nigga, I can't blame you. If I was you and I was a dude and I had the chance to fall and slip on that, I'd have fallen and slipped in it. So I can understand. Don't come in here with a chick and look like she ain't got no pictures on the wall. Don't do that.
But see, and to be clear though, right? If every single day that's who he's cheating on some really hot girl, right? And basically it's because that's more his taste. I'm not his taste, right? I am not that ultimate hot girl to him, right? All these chicks he keeps sleeping with, those are the ultimate hot girl. But he really likes my personality and the other parts about me, my heart and whatever, right? But not the looks. See, that's why to me, I think it's really important that to him, I'm the shit. Because if I'm the shit, right? If I am the ultimate to him, right? Then, okay, he might slip and fall. Like you said, okay, crazy bum walks by. I don't have a crazy bum. I don't, right? So I don't have one of these crazy, giant black bums that are so perfect. I don't have one of those. So if that happened and you said, yeah, I was drunk and my eyes just kept being glued to it. And then, she brought me to the bathroom and I'm an idiot. Okay, I did it, right? If that happened, right, I would be like, okay. And then I would probably laugh at you later. I mean, at one point, and this is a real story. I'm being serious. This is a real story with my husband. So, and he doesn't sleep with fat girls or ugly girls. Like, it's a big thing for him, which is why I mocked him incessantly for like years over this. So one time he was at this party, and there was this fat, ugly girl. She's not really attractive either. And like everyone else was kind of paired off with like the hot girls. And then, this is one chick and she just kept saying, suck, 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 dick, 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 suck, dick, suck. Like she just kept saying, like every other sentence, she was saying one word or the other or both together. And, he was, really drunk and, party vibe and whatever. And then he went up to find one of the bathrooms and he came out of the bathroom when she was there and she dropped to her knees and he was like, okay. And so then he let her do it, and then he was and then he didn't tell me for a month. Not because he didn't want to tell me, but because he was so ashamed of that he was gonna have to tell me that she was a fat, ugly girl. Fat, ugly white girl. Yeah. No.
So you would be okay if she was cute, if she looked like Beyonce?
Oh, I was okay anyway. I just mocked him incessantly. I thought it was so funny. Like I've told a million people that story. Like I thought it was so in front of him. Yeah, no, I thought it was really funny. Like really, really funny. Yeah.
No, like listen. I'll say it like this, right? I'm gonna say it like this. To each his own with the whole thing. I think because the guy did not give information on the response, and he was just trying to look for, and this is just my opinion, just a verification from a woman from an outside source with the information that he gave, that she's just running around here and just opening them legs and just falling and slipping on D all over the place. I don't think that's the case in this one.
I don't either, Dre.
We didn't heard plenty of stuff where the guy will give us so much information and he would be like, but do you think she's cheating on me? Yeah, stupid. Yeah. Yeah. Like, or the woman will ask a question and she think, I think he's cheating on me. Well, your gut is right. He ain't giving no information. The only thing this woman did was she wanted a break from being annoyed.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Final answer. I agree.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in tonight. I appreciate it. Great conversation. The time has whiffed on past.
I know. That was so quick, Char.
That was really quick.
I know.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you for your support. And don't forget tomorrow for article reaction at 6:30 p.m. Hope to see you tomorrow. Peace.
Cheers, y'all.
Peace out.
Hey, folks, it's your nighttime. It's your right time DJ Music. Make sure you join Char Willie each and every Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, for article reaction, right here on your local YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to Article Reaction.